This is the topic. This is the topic today. Hi, user 793. Good to see you. It's Monday again. We're back at the beginning of another week. Hippie happy? Good day to you, Susie Sunshine. Hello, hello, everybody. This is today's topic. For those of you who are here regularly, Nigel from Marge. I think it's been a while since you've been here, so it's good to see you, my dear. Susie Sunshine, it's always a joy. Thank you, everybody who come by regularly. You know, I love and appreciate you all. So, guys, yeah, exactly. Nigel, you know me. If you guys have not seen the news, and you guys know that I talk about karma a lot, and hi Sports Deck. Yeah, I talk about karma, I talk about the universe, I talk about spirituality. I am an observer of humanity and the things that I've seen and the things that I've been apparently collecting in my body. I am now sharing my findings. I'm a very intuitive person, and the way that I get guided by the universe to talk about certain things, of course, has taken me quite some time to actually be able to speak about. But now the universe, in the last couple of years, has given me an amazing amount of confidence to talk about these things and to discuss things in the way they need to be discussed. So guys, the universe is killing the whites. I don't know if you've seen it, but the news has reported that between the 22nd and 28th of June this year, there's been an excess of 20,000 European deaths. Have you seen that? The New Scientist has reported that 20,000 Europeans have died in 1 week in June. And it's actually predicted to be up to 25,000. Right? 25,000. Lee Plasto is already crashing out, guys. Why should I justify my existence to black people? Who asked you to, Lee Plasto? You need to justify your existence to the universe, actually. Because the universe has decided no more for you lot. No more. Your numbers are dwindling. They're going down, 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 down. Because you have not repent. You have not sought guidance. You have not cleared your bad energy. And so the universe is like, time for you guys to go. You gotta go. You gotta go. Nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with black people, Lee. Unless you see us as God's children. Because it's nothing to do with us otherwise. Susie Sunshine. You say things in a way that's truthful but are not filled with hate. I'm so glad I found you. Thank you, Susie. Thank you. Why's my front door ringing? They can't. Give me 1 minute, guys. 1 minute, that's my door. I don't know where it's going. It might be pest control, because I don't know if you can hear some things. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, I'm back, guys. So here at the moment, it's very hot, and I don't know if you can hear, but we have a lot of cicadas at the moment, and we have pest control because we get like a lot of bugs. So that was just pest control at the door, because they basically spray our local areas of bugs. And so that's who that was there. So yes, hello everybody, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yes, Bard Lucy, good to see you. It's been some time. Yeah, we're very here at the end where we are. Crashers, don't worry, love. Around 32,000 people die in Africa every single day, and that's on an average day. That's actually not true. That's not actually the statistics. And even if they were, the equivalent of how many people in Africa, it's like a drop in the ocean. 20,000 Europeans died in 1 week in June. 20,000, Crash. 20,000. And if we go back to COVID, which continent suffered the biggest losses? Who? The Europeans. The European continent lost to this day 2 million people. Did you know that, guys? Did you know that? Let me tell you. In Europe, 2,100,000 people died with COVID. In North America, 1.6 million. In Asia, 1.5 million. South America is 1.3 million. Africa, 258,000. 258,000. Oceania, 33,000. Yeah. Natural causes. Because we're not genocidal and because we're not evil, the global majority, we do not need to go around the world and unaliving people, because this is what white people are doing. So the universe is deciding it is no more. Just because you are triggered by a conversation about race does not make everybody else a race beta. There's a book that you should read, T. It's called Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. Robbo as well, the same book for you. Let me get it for you white people who don't actually understand conversations about race. If this is boring for you, Robbo, you've just said yawn, leave. But you won't, because you're all obsessed with me. Because the Western Europeans are very fragile when it comes to actually talking about race, they should read this book. Why I'm no longer talking to white people about race. Because the rest of us have actually woken up and are able to talk about these things. And so maybe if you spent some time with some words on paper, if you can read, this might be where you actually feel a little bit more comfortable, because these conversations and me as a person is obviously very triggering for you. Aqua says, isn't that because a lot of deaths aren't documented? Where? It's not my opinions. Where's my opinions? T, I haven't given my opinion. I've given facts. I've literally been reading from Worldometers, if you know it. I don't know. No, I don't think that's true. I tell you what's not documented in some countries in Africa is actually the population. That's something, that's my dog. The population. So it's actually meant to be a lot more than there actually is. But for those of us who actually read the news and actually speak to our ancestors in the motherland, there was hardly any deaths during COVID. We know, because we actually saw and experienced everything. There was hardly any COVID deaths in Africa. The whole entire continent of Africa, there was hardly any deaths. It was a European problem. For those of you who are on social media at that time, because I specifically remember seeing that in Asia, in China, where it actually started, I saw them locking down, because of course in Asia, in that part of the world, they're very familiar with very, very bad diseases, yellow fever, what was the other one? I've forgotten off the top of my head, but they know exactly how to lock down, right? They were like, this shit is serious, so they locked down. But the Europeans, those in charge, knew and saw it as an opportunity to unalive a lot of people. I saw them being locked inside their houses in China on social media. I saw the burning of the bodies. I was abroad. I started wearing a mask and sanitizing because I knew what was coming. I locked myself down because I knew what was coming. Way before the country said to lock down, I saw people dying across Europe, and I was like, damn, I ended up in hospital myself the second time because I knew what was coming. I knew what was coming, and this was a whole way to actually get rid of Europeans. And as you guys know, it was very controlled to put it into the old people's homes, because the 1% were like, well, that's a dead population, we can get rid of them real quick. They rubbed their hands together for the opportunity, and it was tragic. It was really tragic. Stephen is doing that thing that white people do and make assumptions. I actually just posted a video about this. Just admit you don't like white people. No, don't project onto me, Stephen. I'm very clear about white Western Europeans and Eastern white Western Europeans. I advocate for everybody else. I don't advocate for the English. I've said this many times. You don't know anything about race. That's why you group all white people together. You don't have the intelligence to separate different white people unless you're being racist yourself. You know you hated Eastern Europeans. Only until Henry Novak was killed, all of a sudden you like Eastern Europeans. You're incredibly racist to them. You were telling the children absolutely diabolical things, telling them to get out of your country. You hated the Irish. You don't like white people. Stop projecting. Read this goddamn book. Why are no longer talking to white people about race? This is your issue. It's not ours. We have the ability to actually see differently. Nita Ora says they can't believe how they have been pulled into the BS because they think they are exempt. Yeah, this is that ego that white Western Europeans have. They believe that they're exempt. They don't believe in karma. They don't believe in just anything bad that they've done. They don't feel like they are personally responsible for anything because they're not spiritual people, because they are arrogant, because they have this, you know, the superior complex, the narcissist complex. They are birthed by psychopaths, so they have narcissistic tendencies and sociopathic tendencies. So when I talk, they hate it because narcissists do not like reflecting upon themselves. Narcissists do not like people seeing them, and so they will always see the person who exposes them as the enemy. So that's why when they come here, they'll say, "Oh, Fox, you hate white people," and "Oh, would you?" And at the same time, white people get upset that people aren't liking them anymore and are actually waking up from the coma. They don't like it because they have been able to rest on the fact that the universe is, well, the program was to keep everybody else asleep, to give white people a test, and it was a test that they failed. Inti, my darling, how are you today?
Good morning, beautiful. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh
Is your
dear.
sound, can you hear me? I can't hear you very well. Hold on, what's going on? Can you speak up a little bit? Can everybody hear
Yeah, I
Inti?
can.
You're
Can you
very
hear me now? Sorry, can you hear me now?
You're really super quiet. I don't know if it's me. Can everybody give me some feedback, please? Can everybody hear Inti loudly? For some reason, for me, she's super quiet.
My head, the volume, I had it down. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, they can hear you. I don't know why you are like, okay, everybody can hear, but for some reason, I cannot. Give me 1 minute. Let me change this. Hold on. Yeah, thank you, everybody in the chat, for giving the feedback. Let me just change something a minute. Okay, Inti, yeah?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can
Okay,
hear you
good.
now. Yeah, so it was my plug-in thing. So yes, Inti, what would you like to add to this conversation? I know you're a spiritual
Well,
sister, much like myself, my
well,
darling.
I see a lot of these. I see not just white people, but I see a lot of people nowadays, and I just see them as sort of low vibrational beings with stagnant souls. That's my view on it. And their souls are stagnant because they can't connect to the source. And I keep saying that, well, until you connect with the source, until you realize that you're part of a much, much bigger picture, and that we're all part of that picture, and although we all may be at different stages in our journey, we're all on a journey, all of us. Each and every one of us is
Absolutely.
on our own individual journey, but the journey,
I'll
each
be
and every
back. Keep
journey
going,
leads to,
Inti.
okay, each and every journey leads to the same place. It should lead us to a higher level of spirituality, because I believe that we are here on this planet to evolve, not ourselves as the human race, but we are here to evolve our spirits and our souls, because ultimately when we're gone, when we're no longer here, the only thing that will remain is what you have done for your soul, how you've elevated your spirit, your soul. So I think it's more important to work on that rather than to kind of, a lot of people think acquiring wealth makes you a rich person, acquiring material things. Oh, I'll have a big house and I have a fancy car and all those type of things are important in their life. But for me, the important thing in life for me is to help others, to develop my spirit, to try and and gather sort of, when on my day of judgment, I want to be able to say that I done more good than harm, hopefully. I want to, when those scales are weighed, I want my good deeds to outweigh the bad, because we all do bad things sometimes. I'm not saying we are perfect, because none of us are perfect, sister. We all have flaws. Each and every one of us have flaws. But it is beautiful also to have flaws, because sometimes those flaws are what makes us us. And struggling sometimes with those flaws, because sometimes we have to struggle with them because they might hinder us in some shape or form. But it's that working through your flaws, accepting that you have a flaw, look into your flaws. Don't say to yourself, oh, I've got this, I've got to judge myself. No, look into your flaws and say, okay, maybe I'm struggling in this department, or I'm struggling in that department. What can I do better? How can I improve on that? None of us are perfect, but I think, yeah, it's work in progress. That's what I call it, work in progress, and it will never finish until you kind of go. But there is a really good Chinese proverb that tells a story about a woman who carries water on and she has like a piece of wood, I can't remember what it's called, that goes across her shoulders, and at each end of this piece of wood she carries two ceramic jars that she puts the water into. But one of the jars is cracked, so as she walks along the footpath, the water spills out through this little crack that this pot has. And the pot feels really bad about itself, thinking that, it can't do as well as the pot that doesn't have any flaws in it. Because, of course, the pot that hasn't got any flaws in it always carries the full amount of water. And the pot is upset about that and thinks that, it's not worthy. However, the lady that carries the water says to the pot, she says, yes, I know you have a crack, and I know that you can't carry all of the water back for me. She said, look at the side of the path when we walk back. She says, I planted seeds, and every time we walk past, you watered those seeds. So, you see, some flaws can be good. We can't look at them, all of them, as bad. Some of our flaws make us look at the world kinder, more kinder, with more empathy, because you've been through something, because you've been broken, and because you understand. So, yeah, connect.
That's exactly how it works. It's the tests in life, like you say. It is, this life right now is a test, and you can either choose to do good or you can choose to do bad. And yes, as Inti says, you're right, we all make mistakes and we've all done bad things, I'm sure, but it's how you learn for those things and say, oh, do you know what, I never want to do that again, that was a mistake. How can I be better? How can I grow? How can I help others? Unfortunately, white people haven't done enough. They really have not done enough. And especially you and I, and a lot of us here on these apps, every day now, it seems, the conversations and the things I'm hearing from white people, like appalling things. And they get upset, of course, at us talking about it, because they don't want to break the program, because them changing or moving or growing is too difficult for them to do. And I talked to, actually yesterday, I posted a video about narcissism and about how narcissists really, and this is so to do with white Western Europeans, how they've managed to brainwash people and manipulate others to say that it's a good culture and that they've done so many good things of the world. They saved people and la la la. But now we're actually waking up to recognize that they didn't do any of those things that they said, and we're directly affected by it. They don't want to wake up to the truth of that, because narcissists don't like to be seen. They like to project a falseness about themselves. Blackwater says you've not contributed to anything. This is the problem with your white programming. Your white society only told you you had value if you contributed to the earth. Nobody's here to contribute anything. People are here to learn, to grow, to experience. Your 1%, your society has made you into a slave, and that's going to be my topic for tomorrow, actually, when I'm next on, is that why did white people not free themselves from slavery? Because black people did. We have revolution. White people never freed themselves from slavery. Their 1% decided to enslave other people and then re-enslave themselves to capitalism. White people never freed themselves from slavery. And this is why they don't want to educate themselves either, because they still want to be trapped into the program. They're mental slavery. And Blackwater is repeating white propaganda. Facts are facts. Nothing came out of Africa. You know, they say the same
really?
stuff over and over and over again.
Nothing came out of Africa.
No books.
Nothing,
So they've got the
nothing's coming
libraries.
out of his brain by the sounds of it either.
Yeah, the first universities, of course, were in Morocco. Maths and medicine, thank you, from Egypt. You know, these people are so ridiculous. You know, Africa actually was ahead of Europe. Africa was actually in the Iron Age while you were still in the Bronze Age. You were still making your houses out of straw, mud and shit until you started to, no, actually, it wasn't just North Africa. Until white people started to actually explore the world, they were like, shit, everyone else is ahead of us. And so that's why you had to steal it, because you didn't have it. You came from the cold Caucasus Mountains and you had nothing. We had gold, we had salt, we had oil. We were living off the land. We had beautiful climates. We had weather, we had trees, we had beautiful sky, we could read the stars. But you guys didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. Yep. Caesar, your ignorance is exactly why the universe is unaliving you. Because the continent of Africa is 54 countries. I have a video coming about comparing first world Africa with third world Europeans, because you don't even look at the poverty around yourselves. You're in the sixth richest country in England, and yet the poverty rates are so high. You have so many people on benefits. You have trash everywhere. You're not even educated. You are the third world country. You are the third world country. I don't even tell you where I live, but I tell you I live in a Muslim country now that is so far advanced from where you are in England.
But they don't see that, you see.
No,
they don't see that. Half of them haven't even set foot outside the country to see anywhere else. But they have huge opinions on those people's lands, on their culture. You know, just because they think they've seen one or two videos, they think they understand. You have to go somewhere. You have to experience the people. You have to experience that country before you can say, oh, this country's this and that country's that. You know, you can't just, because unless you're there, you wouldn't really understand. And this is what I say a lot of the times when people say to me about, you know, Argentina or Latin America. They would never understand unless you go there and actually see what it's actually like. They won't. But, you know,
they won't go there because they don't have bloody passports. They don't know what a passport is for. I love waving my British passport at their faces and saying, hey, I've been to 54 countries. Where have you been? They haven't even been out of the M25. They haven't gone anywhere. They literally just really are in the program of slavery and just talking about, they think they know the world. They know nothing about the world, and they know nothing about themselves as well, which is the worst part, actually. That's why they find it very difficult, these conversations. Thank you, Inti. Stick around, please, because I'd love to come back to you. I'd love to come back to you about some certain things as well, because, of course, this is the spiritual thing we're talking about, but I'm just going to move to God, Lucy, now as well.
The Falklands aren't British, dear. I'm sorry to inform you, but they're nowhere near where you are. They're much nearer to Argentina than they're here. So if you can explain to me how geographically they're yours, I would find that conversation so very, very interesting.
Yeah, thank you, Inti. Balfour, just quickly before we go to Bob, Lucy says we're all the same race. No, we're not. Some of us are human and some of us are Neanderthal. My people are not Neanderthals. We did actually be more compatible with humanity and what the world needed to be at one with the earth, sea, land and sky, like I said. But white people, white Western Europeans, when you came along, you actually wanted to destroy everything, and you're still destroying things now. Balfour, if you play the race card, you're pathetic. It's a very poor excuse. But Lucy, my dear, how are you?
I'm okay. I had to take a major step back from social media, just popping on and off. So because I'm dealing with a few things at home, but I just wanted to pop on. So you can't see the color of my skin, folks. But I am white as a glass of milk with rosy cheeks. Okay, I am from the UK. All right. Okay, I'm actually from Scotland. Whiteness is a poison which is ruining our native Scottish, Irish, and English and Welsh cultures. Okay, and for those of you who are popping off in Fox's comments, she's not said anything hateful about individual human beings. She is naming a structural issue. Reform UK have said that they want to imprison people who make political leaflets in our native languages. These are languages which predate English in many cases. They want to imprison people for engaging in public life in Scots Gaelic, in Irish, and they want to make English the language of this island. And that, my friends, is a genocidal statement, because genocide is about destroying people's languages and culture. So here you have a bunch of white men who want to eradicate all our beautiful indigenous languages in these islands, okay? Our British culture, okay? They want to eradicate that and turn us into some bland cardboard, plastic version of ourselves. And that's what whiteness does. That is whiteness in action. Okay, so when you say, "Oh, don't play the race card, don't play the race card," you're whinging off in the comments. Okay, I am white. Okay, I have pale, milky skin. Okay, and I am telling you that if you walk around with these attitudes, you are going to eradicate everything that is true and beautiful and connected about our cultures, plural, within these islands. Okay, and you guys really need to check yourselves, because actually Fox and others are doing you a favor. They are naming something that is harming us and hurting us. And just because it's difficult to hear doesn't mean to say that it's not worth hearing. Everything that's worthy in this life, you need to struggle for it. You need to strive for it. You need to sit with a bit of discomfort from time to time. And I don't get things perfect all the time, okay? But learning to sit with the discomfort and getting past that emotional reaction will do you a lot of favors. As for the prompt, the universe is killing the whites. It's certainly killing whiteness. It's certainly, whiteness is on the way out, and that's scary because it has benefited one or two people. Okay, and it's dangled a carrot of a promise to others that, oh, you'll get a bit of benefit, but actually it's a good thing that it's dying out. Okay, it's a really good thing for us, guys. Okay,
you see what happens when you have somebody like Lucy, who's actually done the work and he actually does understand the construct of whiteness. She doesn't take things personally. Lucy is incredibly knowledgeable and incredibly educated, and she also is very emotionally intelligent, unlike the Neanderthals that seem to find themselves in our TikTok spaces and also in your TikTok space as well, Lucy. They always crash out, and they have a real inability to understand the subject matter, and yeah, you're right. Like, this is it. Like, the fact that I talk about these things and you talk about these things and other people here talk about these things is supposed to help white people in a roundabout way. It is supposed to help, but the ego is too out of control. Mainly, it's supposed to help us, right? It's meant to help us. It's meant to help us, and again, us decolonizing and waking up out of the program and actually sharing that information with other people is making us be like, oh yeah, you know what, actually that makes more sense. And now we can start to live more authentically. But you're right to bring up, Lay, please don't unmute yourself, or LSY, Please don't unmute yourself because we can't hear other people speaking. And you can see it's a very patient panel, and I will come to you when it's your time. But Bard Lucy, absolutely, bringing up the fact that once again, the Anglo-Saxons want you to remove your language as if they haven't tried to do that before.
I know.
English is not the first and only language on the island of misery. They already tried to get rid of the Gaelic and Gaelic languages, native language for the Celtic people in Britain who were there before the Anglo-Saxons. They were not called Anglo-Britons, they were just called Britons and Celtic people.
Brythonic people are different, yeah, mate, okay. Yes. Anglo-Britons, okay. However, you were talking about karma and about native concepts of destiny and fate, okay? We actually have our own words for that, okay? But some of you, like people who have not done the work, maybe don't know that we have our own words for that. The Gaelic word for it is Dan, that's D-A with an accent over it, N. Dan is your poem, your soul poem, your destiny, your fate, which we are responsible for creating ourselves. Okay, that's the nature. It's a poem that we write ourselves. What does your soul poem look like, matey? In the comments. The other concept, if you go to the Norse side of it, because a lot of people have like Norse ancestry, is weird. It is something that is woven yourself. Okay, you are creating it every day while you are going about your life and how you interact with other people. Okay, and that determines how your soul then moves forward. Okay, in this, in this, if you're looking at native concepts, okay, native spirituality, okay, if you're looking at what we kind of are forming in terms of a spirituality, which talks about our responsibility to ourselves, our children, and to other people. Those are the concepts that allow us to live in connected ways with our ancestors, okay, and with our descendants. Okay, so we have these things, these treasures are there for you guys. But no, we're a Christian country when you've never even stepped inside a church. Okay, all right, we have these concepts here, whether you are Christian or whether you are animist like me. Okay, we have them. But people like Nigel Farage, they want you to leave. They want to turn you into a cardboard person. Okay, a cutout, someone who's disconnected
as if they're not already there, as if
exactly.
They're not already there, and they haven't been there for centuries already.
So, Fox, I'm going to drop down. I'm going to stay in the comments and like do the hearts and things like that. And I'm going to drop down. But I just wanted to. But it's lovely to talk to you again. Lovely that. Where are your necklaces? Where's the necklaces?
Sorry?
Where are your necklaces?
Oh, my necklaces! the top is doing all the work today, actually. And look at my earrings. They're like little clouds.
Oh, gorgeous. Yeah, and your nails are absolutely gorgeous as well.
Thank you. Got them done a couple of days ago. Orange. Thank you.
Lovely. Okay, I'm going to drop down.
Thank you. It's always lovely to hear your voice again.
Yeah.
Bye, my dear. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, we're going to move to LSY now, please. LSY, how are you? LSY, hello.
Can you skip to the person above me, please?
Okay, yeah, no problem. Okay, we've got now Saint Michael, please. Saint Michael, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, I'm blessed. Hello. I've woke up this morning. We've got to be grateful every day we wake up, so I thank God. And yeah, I'm very good, I'm blessed. First of all, I'd like to start with just in response to what the lady just said about some of these people don't even go to church and they claim they're Christians. You don't have to go to a building. Church is not a building in the community. Church can be at home. So that's just a point that I wanted to make. Also, I'm mixed race, biracial. I'm English, Irish, Caribbean, Jamaican to be
I know
precise.
who you are, you know. You do know I know who you are. You've got like 1,000 different accounts because I don't enjoy my conversations with you, but yet you still keep trying to come back and talk to me, which is kind of weird.
All right, but I'm nothing but respectful to you. And
doesn't matter if you're respectful. Okay. I don't enjoy your energy.
No problem, Fox. Then I won't be here. But another point I'd like to.
But the thing is, though, Saint Michael, is that some people actually assert boundaries. So when I don't want to talk to you, you should be respectful and say, hey, do you know what? Maybe that person is not feeling me. But you don't feel that.
Doesn't see the way you see the world.
Caesar, don't interrupt. I will come to you when it's time. If you can control yourself,
Yes, I know, but I
Caesar.
feel
Caesar,
sorry
you
for your
can't
life,
control
honestly.
yourself. Goodbye, Caesar. You couldn't control yourself, Neanderthal. I'm talking to Saint Michael right now. I have asserted my boundary many times with you, Saint Michael. You've got many different profiles that are now coming to me, and I've clearly showed you that I do not enjoy your company. So why would you now say that you're respectful but disrespect my boundary?
Do you want me to respond to answer that question?
Yeah.
Okay, so I respect all women, especially women like you or similar to yourself, black women that speak up, that are strong, and uh, express their opinions. This I respect and I appreciate and I admire. So
You're doing it from your perspective. This is the
I'm
problem
just trying to
with
respond to you, Fox.
but
But
you're
okay,
not responding to me. You're saying I respect, I do this, but that's nothing to do with me and how I feel. You're
yes,
talking about what you need. You need black women. You
I
need
don't need
to
black
be
women.
around me. Yeah, you clearly do, because you've just said I respect black women.
I do.
I love black women,
I
because
do.
you need me. That's what you're clearly saying. You need black women in
What
your
do I
life,
need you
and you
for, may
can
I ask?
because you've
What?
just said,
Excuse me. What do I need
said.
you for? May I ask? I did
You've
not
just
once say
said
I need. I did not once say I need you.
you need the energy,
Oh
you
Lord.
need the presence. Yeah, clearly. Because why is it that I would have got rid of you and probably blocked you many times, but yet you're still here?
May Lord have mercy on your soul, Fox. I don't.
Lord doesn't need mercy
You're
on
so
my soul, it
negative.
needs mercy
No,
on
listen.
yours.
At the end of the day, you're very. You seem to be very negative. Why I say this
Towards
is
you, yes. Towards
towards
you,
everybody.
yes.
You
No, just
insult a
you.
lot of people. The amount of people I've seen you insult on your own live this morning. You're quite a hypocrite. You moan
Like
about what the
who?
white people do, but you're as bad as them. You're what you're gonna say. You can't be racist because you're black. I think that you can. There's the hate that comes out of your mouth towards the white person. Towards
This is exactly what you do every single time, Saint
what?
Michael.
Correct you and
You
tell you about
always go to
yourself. You
this.
don't
So
like it.
Saint
Okay.
Michael, this is what you do every single time. You crash out and you start spouting white propaganda. You are very pro-white, and this is where we get to every single time. And this is why I always have to block you every single time, because you cannot take these conversations without being personal in them. And this is why I blocked you. You do not respect, much like the Neanderthal doesn't respect boundaries. You don't respect boundaries. He's blocked now again. You hear that? I asked him why. He said he respects black people. That's about me. That's about me. And there's another man as well also who's tried to come up here many times, and I've seen him and I've also had to block him. Women on this app don't realise that we have to block. Men can stalk on here like they can stalk in real life, but they feel more emboldened on here because they think that we're not going to have our boundaries up. Those of you in the comment section, you can't project onto me. People like you, Josh, you can't project onto me by saying that I'm a narcissist. You don't even know what narcissists mean. Narcissists makes subjects about themselves. This isn't about me. I haven't even talked about myself once so far. Have I talked about myself? I've said what I see. This is the topic. It's not about me, my feelings, my opinion. I've not talked about that yet. Someone said, I live in the UK. I said, I don't live in the UK. I don't live in Europe. I don't talk about myself much on this app at all. I talk about what I see. Narcissists can only see from themselves and their own perspective. Josh, you need to actually educate yourself on what narcissism is. LSY, are you ready for a conversation yet? LSY, your signal has dropped down a bit. LSY? Are you there? LSY. Valerie, are you telling me not to have boundaries online, but people should be their opinion, don't block you, use the debate? My space is not a debate space. I don't debate. I know you guys are used to people arguing and shouting and screaming. That's not how I run my space. It's conversational. This isn't a debate. It doesn't say debate at all. Debates are for people who just actually only have their own opinion in their own mind. My space is not a debate space. Okay, Earthly Colour. How are you today, Earthly Colour?
Blessing, Sister Queen,
Hi there.
by way of Scottsdale, Arizona. So I'm going to go to sleep soon, but I
Oh,
saw your prompt is karma. Is this karma? Is it deserved? The universe is the white people. And I don't believe it's karma because I personally don't believe in karma. There are things that happen to quote unquote good people that don't happen to other people. So I believe karma exists if you give it life. I don't believe that it is deserved because there are individuals in every geographical location that we reside on here. I don't believe that we're the only beings in the world. I believe there's other life. At least the Tartarians created something amazing. But when I say I don't believe it's deserved, because if individuals received what they deserved, we wouldn't even need to have this platform conversation. However, I do sit well with thinking it is balance. Universe is kind unapologetically, but when we are, I think one of the philosophical differences between what I say as melanated peoples, organic peoples, and those who do not share our melanin is that we, and when I say we, I mean you and myself, we see ourselves as a part of and not separate from the earth, the trees, grandmother ocean. You could be in the UK or in Argentina, and if I pass you on the street, there is a synergy, and you know what I mean. I can look at you and be like, hey, sis, hey, I see you, I acknowledge you. But other people.
so you don't. So just to interrupt you for a minute. So you've kind of did say some things which were a little bit on the line of karma. I don't know, because do you believe in action and consequence? Like certain things that you do will bring, or like there's a consequence for every action, even if you don't identify it as karma. If you do something
natural
bad,
consequences occur.
yeah.
If you put your hand on a stove and you find that it's slightly heated, that's the observation of a natural consequence. But the reason that I don't sponsor the karma is I put up a post earlier on my page. I talked about 400 years of slavery, Japanese internment, Tuskegee syphilis experiment, Tulsa riots, Oklahoma riots. Almost every law in American society is a response to oppression for another person, right? And that oppression.
Human oppression always requires some kind of revolution, though. That's man-made. This is revolution. I'm talking about things where a certain group of people have done such atrocious things to every single group of people on this planet. For example, the British have invaded 171 countries. And you don't think that there should be
the wiping
some
out
kind of consequences
of people?
because we're not gonna, because we as black and brown people, we are not here to actually serve the karma. That's not our job, right? I don't believe it's our job,
because
I don't
comes
believe
from
that humans
universe.
anyway. Yeah,
And
exactly.
from
So that's
source.
karma. That's
It
karma.
comes from universe and source. And so the balance is, I'm not allergic to the sun. I live in Arizona, and I went hiking for 3 hours yesterday with family and friends who look like me. And when we got back in the car, we realized it was 121 degrees, not from the vehicle sitting in the sun. We passed the bank register and it was 125. No issue. Enjoy. I think the only
So
reason
on
we
that,
stopped.
yeah, on that note, I mean, like literally, we are looking at the statistics now that between 22nd and 28th of June 2026, up to 25,000 Europeans have died.
I saw that.
25,000 Europeans. Europe is the fastest heating continent on this planet. Nowhere else.
I saw that.
Nowhere else. And even back in 2003, there were 70,000 excess deaths in Europe. 70,000 in 2003. I mentioned COVID at the beginning of this conversation. COVID hit Europeans the worst. 2 million people dead. Like I said, we do not have it in ourselves to dish out the karma, but the universe, if you believe in the universe and you believe
I
in
do.
energy
Universe
is
is
infinite and
bringing
energy
balance.
always. Yes, so you agree then?
It's
I'm. This
seeking
is why
balance.
I'm quite. Yeah, it's balance. It is karma. It is karma. Whether you say that's deserved, of course, that's your own personal opinion. But you are agreeing that it is karma, and then and you are also understanding that the universe is also doing these things to white people as well.
Oh,
But I'm
yeah,
going to move to the next person.
we're not doing them. Like I said, we enjoyed ourselves. No sunscreen, no sunblock, just no
Yes,
water. Not
yes,
one of us thought to bring along. We were just out there doing our thing, and we stopped because I was like, you know what? We've
yeah.
been out here from 10 to 3. We should probably go get some water.
Yes. Right, I'm going to move to the next person now. Thank you so much, Earthly. Thank you. I'm moving
Blessings,
to
beautiful. Be
have a good
encouraged.
day. Thank you. I'm going to move to Leslie N now, please. Leslie N, how are you?
Good morning, folks. Hello, thank you for
Hi
having
there.
me.
Hi
Um,
there.
I
What would
am
you like
not,
to add? So, is this karma? The universe is killing the white people. What do you think?
well, for lack of better words, because I'm not from the culture or religion that coined the term karma, but as we all understand it as like consequences of your action, yes, I would absolutely agree. And that
What
it is
do you
deserved.
have a term in your culture? Do you have a term?
No. I mean, I'm German. I'm like white.
Okay.
We don't, yeah. we, we don't even think about stuff like that. We don't have the language for anything like that. Yeah, so that's why, for lack of better terms, karma would probably do, or yeah, just consequences, cause and effect also, because I feel like even if you don't believe in a higher power, and I do believe in universe, but I know we all have like probably different understandings of what that might look like, but I count the earth itself into that, like as like a cosmic power. Like we can't expect to destroy the planet like this and it not coming back at us. Like, even if it's not a power specifically sending that to us, it's literally just what we did. And we've watched it happen for decades now. We've seen the science about it. We've seen the holes in the atmosphere, and we did the right thing, which was not worry about it. It's not going to affect us. The entitlement and the ignorance about things is what is our karma basically, and
Yes.
what will always make it so we will suffer enormous consequences because we are not willing to accept what we are doing wrong, what we are doing bad, and as I said, then it just has to come back to us in a
Yeah.
certain way.
And it's the lack of learning, isn't it? It's the lack of learning. But I will say, like, I will ask you directly, actually, because I've said some things about Germany. I feel like in my foreign experience of me going to places like Berlin and learning about what happened, that is it true in schools there was a lot of teachings about Nazis and not trying to do that again? Because I've been on tours as well there, and they've said this was absolutely diabolical. We do not want this to repeat itself. Is that true? Is that in your experience as well?
Yeah, it is. And I have to say also, I left Germany when I was 13, and then we moved to Switzerland. And then the rest of my school time I did in Switzerland. But it's almost the same thing. It's the same language. It's just almost same culture. But even though there's a lot of xenophobia still going on, because, white people just have to fight.
It's true, unfortunately.
Even if you just go 5 minutes over a border and the dialect is just a little bit different, and suddenly we have reasons to hate each other again. It's crazy. But we definitely had it in school. We definitely learned the phrase "never again," but I have to say, we never looked at it from an ethical standpoint. We just got taught the factual events, and probably not all of them. You can always go deeper, and every documentary you watch and suddenly it's like, oh, we didn't even discuss that, because also there's only so much time, I guess, you have in a class. And the fact that we only had it in history, but not in like an ethics class or in philosophy or something, that already, back then it didn't occur to me. But right now, looking at the state of things and how bold white people are getting with the racism and the blatant bigotry, also who gets elected right now, and like who is marching the streets and all of that. I do have, and these are people in I'm 35 now, so my age and younger, and I'm trying to look back at my school days and like trying to analyze the people in my class, remembering like, did I miss like any signs in people, like were they actually admiring what they heard and just like covering it up? Like, I mean, we were kids, but now they're adults, and where is this coming from? Because it was a point in the test to say what was the phrase, and you write "never again," and then you got a point for it. But we never really talked about it in a deeper sense,
in a depth way, so it can connect with you and to really understand. I would guess that's kind of like a similar idea as to what they do in Britain, because they teach certain things, but actually they glorify it a lot. So that's why we have people in the comment section talking about slavery, even though that's got nothing to do, like the transatlantic slave trade, because they're not educated enough to understand the different types of slavery, and the fact that it goes back to 3,500 BC in Iraq. Like, they don't have that knowledge. And so when they come here with subjects that have nothing to do with it, they just repeat bullshit propaganda all of the time, and they glorify it as well. So they don't have any way ever in their mind where they think it's bad that they've killed 200 million people worldwide. Like, they don't have it in their mind at all. They think that even themselves, killing themselves during World War I and II, like 53 million white people died, they think it's great. They think World War I and II is great things. Because again, like in the propaganda, they've just said, oh, it's about H-man, it's about him, not realising that they don't even know, British people, English people don't even know that they were one of the starting countries that started World War I. They have I honestly, it shocked me, because I thought that they knew. They don't know. They don't even know how it started. They don't know it was a fight between 9 kings, 9 white European kings who were family. They were all cousins. They don't even know this, and they think it's a great honour to be dragged to their deaths because of these narcissistic elites that were running these countries. They think it's absolutely fantastic. They have no self-esteem. That's why they think it's great to die in these ways. But the universe is doing this kind of stuff to them now, and I don't know. I think they are fighting against it. The birth rates are going down. The government has said, oh, you know what, you have to have issues with the immigrants and anyone of immigrant descent. It's like our fault why they're going extinct. All of a sudden, it's all our problem, you know. So I don't know. I think that's really interesting, the fact that you've just said that there, that yes, we've said never again, but it's whether you actually connect mentally. And that's always the problem with this, because even though you say never again, you still can be destined to repeat it. That's a big problem. Yeah. Thank you so much, Leslie. I'm going to move to the next person, please. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your conversation. Thank you. Right, we've got Des today. Des, how are you? Des, are you there? I'm going to go back to Inti for a minute, please. Inti, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes, my dear. So is there anything that you've heard so far that's made you go, or yeah, or any other thoughts you want to add?
I mean, interesting how people have different views. I always like to listen and learn from other people. I always I always find it interesting to see how other people view the world.
Yeah.
Because we all view it through different eyes, regardless.
Yeah.
Even if we all live in the same household. I mean, even in my household, that we have very different views on the world. I can assure you of that. I'm the funky hippie kind of one that that's all the funny, funky rituals and stuff. My kids sometimes look at me like, oh God, she's at it again. I go around the house, burning my incense. Well, not my incense, because I make my own concoction, but I cleanse my house, and I go around doing my little things. And then when I want to connect to nature, I go out in my garden and spend the whole day there just pottering around and just reconnecting. And that's really when I feel the closest to God or to the creator, whatever. I don't have a name because I don't practice any religion as such, but I believe that yes, there's a creator. I'm connected. I don't need a church. I don't need a book. I don't need none of that, because years ago we didn't need books to tell us. We knew. And
that's right. We had we knew. We had the inherent knowledge. We have the story. Yeah.
Yeah, and most of it was spoken by word.
Yes, we passed those stories down as well. We had to make sure we were doing that to give validation to what we were thinking and feeling as well. But colonization happened, and mass invasion started happening to get us away from the inherent knowledge and power that we already had. Thank you, Inti. But I'm going to
hold on, but I want to ask you an interesting question. Do you think that this is what is happening at the moment? It's like a reset, where everything has to go back to the right setting, let's say. Yeah. I think we're on the wrong setting, and I think the universe is resetting itself to its proper 100% proper settings. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I mean, this is the thing, like every single one of us on this planet does have some kind of inherent knowledge, like you say, and it's whether they're actually connected to the story or whether they understand it. So the white people came up with the Great Reset, right? They're the ones that said that, but they they see it in a negative way. They're like, oh, again, this is great replacement theory, right? They're having these negative terms towards it because they're the ones who are being targeted about it, right? But yes, it's true. It is. The universe is correcting this planet, this Earth. They've tried some experiments here, and those experiments have gone wrong. That's why it's now needs to be reset back to actually how it was for hundreds of thousand years beforehand, because white people really think that they created everything in 400 years. They don't realize that they're only 8,000 years old. Humanity is 300,000 years old, and things were working actually quite well before they started all their invasions. And then with this ego and narcissism and arrogancy and lack of education and ignorance that came with it, and then they started to spread that to other cultures, of course they've said this is not good. This is not
Yeah.
happening now, and especially for women, because we know, those of us who are awake as women, we are not going to push this idea anymore. We're going to awaken ourselves. We're going to understand that this earth is supposed to be a matriarchy. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
matriarchal,
I
and
can't
the
wait
men
for
are
that
supposed
day to go back to the matriarchy.
same,
I
girl.
can't wait.
Same. I'm bringing back the
I
women's only
can't
Wednesday.
wait for us to be able to sit in our rightful place again.
Yes, Wednesday we're having a conversation again, because I had one live and then I've been on holiday. So Wednesday again, I will bring back the women's only live. So of course I would love it if you came by again. So we'll have
Okay.
some. Yeah, we'll have
Yes.
some.
Wednesday I'll be here if you're doing it. No
Yes.
problem.
Thank you, sister.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to go to Leanne for a minute. Leanne, could you do a reset for me, please? My
Yeah,
dear.
I was just about to say, please, can I do one?
Yeah.
Morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing okay. Thank you for joining. Even the haters that are in the room, love that as well. Thank you to all the speakers that have been on panel so far and those that are still waiting. Appreciate you. If anybody that's listening, the 113 people that are here, any of the speakers on panel, or including Fox as well, if you like the live or like what you're hearing, please remember to tap up the live, share the live out, repost it to your friends so they can join in the conversation. And any panelists that you agree with, make sure you, if you want, you can kindly gift them as well. I just need to say a few things for the comment section because, my eyes are already crying from the nonsense I'm seeing. So I'm just gonna...
Ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga.
Okay, that's sad.
Ooga 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 booga.
As a 18
Ooga
plus
booga.
person to do that. Anyway, so comment section, keep it respectful. I'm going to give you one warning. After I give you the one warning and you keep trying to go back and forth with me, I'll just mute you. Can't be asked. Nothing's really a back and forth thing. If you want to do a back and forth, just go up on panel. Fox is more than happy to do a little debate with you. Comment section's not for a back and forth. Okay, Mr. Andy, and you've just proved my point, so I'm just going to mute you then. Yeah, if you want to be disrespectful by saying certain words like Muslims and you intentionally don't spell it correct, again, give you one warning. After that, you're getting muted, you're getting blocked. Going to be racist in the comment section as well. One warning, actually, depends my mood. If the comment's that bad, I'll just mute you, to be honest, or just block you. It depends how I'm feeling. Islamophobia, homophobia, all of that phobia crap, all of those words. And any hateful crap I see in the comment section depends on what you say as well. I'll either give you a warning or it'll be a straight mute. So
Now, straight mutes. These are straight mutes.
Straight
There's
mutes?
no there's no ableism. There's no racism. There's no Islamophobia. There's no sexism. Those are straight mutes. If it's very bad, then it's a straight block.
Yeah, I was
really
gonna say a
bad,
baddie
offensive
block.
stuff. If you are anti-African, anti-brown, like anything like that, this is a block. Be disrespectful. Of course, you'll see we're not making personal insults to people. Anything that has been said to anybody on the panels, you see, I mute you immediately. We do not do disrespect here. And of course, if you disrespect me, it's an absolute mute for you as well. So don't disrespect people. It's not necessary. We're all trying to communicate here like adults. There's no hating on whites. You're taking this personally because you're a fragile white person. That's
And
not, again, this is the prompt today. This is what we're talking about.
And
We're
if
talking about science.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if you feel a type of way about the prompt, literally the button at the bottom of your screen, you just tap it and you can come up and debate it. It's not a back and forth in the comment section. If I see one more comment about World War being justified, I've already muted 2 people for saying that sentence. That means you've come up on your other account to say that as well. I'm not stupid.
The way that they always keep coming back to this lively and is honestly very it's
sad.
A sick brain problem, very sad. Again, it's energy. People don't understand energy. People don't understand attraction and being magnets. And if we're blocking you and we're muting you and yet you're coming back on another account, that's like
psychosis.
Very strange psychosis. It's a psychosis. Thank you so much, Leanne. On that note, I'm going to talk about the news again, like I've mentioned. So this is from the New Scientist. This is why the prompt is as it is. It's nothing to do with hating white people. The universe is making this decision itself. June heatwave may have killed 20,000 people in Europe. It will be some months before the true toll of Europe's worst ever heatwave is confirmed, but researchers can estimate a death count based on how many people died in Europe during previous hot periods. Europe's most extreme heatwave so far may have killed between 17,000 and 25,000 people, according to early estimates based on past deaths in the region. And if you even go back to 2003, there were 70,000 deaths in the whole year. In the whole year. But this is telling us that between 1 week in June, there was 20,000 deaths in 1 week. This is really having everything turned around, like I talked about earlier. COVID, the continent that has suffered the most with deaths has been Europe. Again, 2 million people died. 2 million. There is something going on in the universe. I believe it's karma, but I'm asking you guys here if you believe it's karma. Do you also think it's deserved? I haven't even given my opinion actually on the deserved part.
I personally feel like you're a racist piece of shit.
Dear. Oh dear.
Devil, okay, he's dropped himself. Devil, this is your own karma. The fact that you couldn't string sentences together as usual, as you Neanderthals, you were too triggered by the topic, and that's all you came up and say is, "You're racist!" You played the race card and you ran away. Do you think that you're part of the future of humanity if that's all you can do? Do you really think that you could come here to a space of a woman as a man, right? You came here as a man and you said that and you ran away. Dude, you look pathetic. You look ridiculous. You sat up here for how many minutes and that's all you could muster up. And you think that the sun is not going to try and annihilate you next? Oh, you got a guest request to come back up again. Well, if you can actually hold your tongue, Devil, let's see, because you didn't say anything offensive to me by calling me racist. It's just kind of a bit sad that you wait, Devil, if you can wait, I'll come to you. There's other people waiting. If
Let's
you can
debate
wait,
then. Let's debate.
No, dude, Neanderthal, you can't control yourself, clearly. This is not a Neanderthal space, right? Let's debate. This isn't a debate. This is a civilized conversation for civilized human beings, and you are not one. Clearly. Right, we're going to try and go to Des again, please. Des, are you there?
Goddess, can I come before I will be busy again?
No, because I've just said exactly who is going next. Don't interrupt, please. Des, are you there? I don't think she's there. I'm going to drop her down. Okay, she'll come back when she wants to, I think. So, Zunny, how are you, my dear?
I'm very good, thank you. Very, very good.
Good. What would you like to add today, please?
Oh, listen, it was so liberating to hear to mention the first. I call it the first great European war. I don't say World War. WW1. Fantastic, because I had the privilege of, like, to be honest with you, coming from a background where my dad was like a socialist, as a diehard socialist, probably actually a communist in a way, and even in their essentially European ideologies, when we see those words, communism, capitalism, those sort of things. He told me that the first European war was a battle amongst kings, and it was so. And you put it even better. I never considered the
it's family.
He used to say it was 2 kings, but when you say 9 kings, that's actually much more accurate. 9. That was really good. The karma thing as well is, I really do believe in karma, and I know anecdotal evidence is never really. It's never really helpful, is it? Because it's unprovable. It's, everyone can come up with anecdotal things, but I would just say, just personally, just censor myself just for a quick second, which I don't like doing, because the universe isn't about me, it's a collective thing, this is. I've seen karma operate on other people, and on myself, by the way.
Same.
In short spaces of time, and I've seen the extended version as well, because the universe is like, it's like the pattern of a snowflake. It's intricate and hard for us to work out, but it is created by nature, and it's like karma doesn't always work like people think it does as well, either, really.
Yes.
It's not necessarily that somebody does something today.
It doesn't present itself in the way that, exactly. And like you just said, sorry to interrupt, but I get excited when I talk about this as well. But sometimes you think it's going to happen immediately, and sometimes it takes years for karma to assert itself. But then when you actually think about it, you realize that, again, like when we talk about cause and effect, that there is direct effect. And I think sometimes when the karma takes longer, it's because the punishment is supposed to be greater. That's what I honestly think. Yeah.
And it's such an intricate sort of almost, it's hard for us to fathom, intricate sort of pattern of things as well, because it's complicated. But I do find it interesting as well that that you put that proposition forward. I said this very thing very recently. In fact, people have been having this idea for a very long time. And I know people like thinking about the Great Reset. What I like to do is involve the whole of humanity into it, which kind of technically everyone does get drawn into it because it is what it is. You could say that maybe the universe, and let's take the Earth, a component of the universe, which is organic and everything's integral and interconnected. That all humanity could be viewed as a quote unquote parasite, which is a drain on the planet, and it will heal itself. But as to your prompt, I think the reason that's triggering is because, one, it's not as if you've come forward and said, hey, this is my political ideology. I personally want to see the eradication of a certain demographic of people.
Yeah, I've never said that.
You have not said that. But what we are observing is something that's happening. I don't want to laugh. I'm not building it. I have to restrain myself as well, because I've always said it. I said it to my mum as well. When people have done bad things to our family, my mum used to think, oh, I really hope that. And I said, don't do it. Actually, just don't do it. And don't even wish that the karma happens. In fact, just keep going. Yeah. Because the universe.
We just accept, right? Exactly. Yeah. It is literally accepting. But this is the thing with white people. They hear things that you haven't even said. I have a video on my page actually just talking about this recently, because I put it forward because I read the case about Henry Novak, for example, that he was the instigator and he was the bully. Like you can literally read the case and see that's what he was doing. He was following Vikram Digwa, right? He was doing it and he was saying, come on, bad man. I presented that, and all of a sudden, Fox said that he deserved to die. I never said that. I never said that. I've never said that anyone. Yeah. If you read the case,
because they had him as a very innocent, young, innocent. He looks all soft, and happy, little mummy's boy sort of guy, well presented, clean cut. He just looks like an innocent guy. That's what they presented to me.
I did a deep dive. Yeah, that's how they presented it, because they needed to have a white martyr, because it was a brown boy that killed him. Of course, they're like, and this is the sick thing about white Western Europeans, is that they got excited over the fact that it was a brown boy. Okay, it was not the fact that they actually cared about Henry Novak at all. They didn't care about him, clearly, because they wanted to weaponize his death. The way that they've used his dead hand, for goodness sake, as their profile pictures. They put the British flag on his hand. It was disgraceful, actually, how they treated that boy. That boy didn't deserve to die, clearly. But he did antagonize the situation. He saw somebody that had 2 weapons on him and thought he was confident enough to start antagonize the person. You don't do that. You don't do that. And then all of a sudden they turned around and said, well, did you say that he deserved it? Nobody mentioned that. And at the same time, I present the facts. I haven't said that the white people deserve it. I haven't said that. I've said, I will always say that there is action and consequence. And some people, there is a behaviour that is deserved. Those people who actually genocide and mass murder hundreds of people, of course, there needs to be an action and consequence. And they do deserve to be unalive. So I'm talking about people like dictators, or like political figures who literally cause the death of millions or hundreds of thousands of people. They should not be sharing the planet with us, because they're harming people. And whether they're doing it inadvertently or through other means as well, or purposeful means, these people clearly aren't human at all, and that's very, very bad. And I've never said that anybody on a one-to-one level should be unalive. No way, because that's why we have the justice system, right? If you do a crime, you should be put in prison and be punished for it in that way. That is what it's for. I don't believe in human to human killing of somebody. No, it's not your power to take someone's life away. Not at all. You're not God. You're not the universe. It is the universe to decide those things and to dish out karma where it should be. But the problem is when people take that power into their own hands, that's when the karma does come back for them eventually. Of course, if you do unalive someone, you end up in prison, or if you don't, you end up mentally tortured, right? The guilt will eventually eat away at these people, and that is actually karma as well. So, this is not exactly how people should behave.
Can I just say something as well, though? It's so interesting that your statistics, when you give the statistics, I thought you was going to give the number that I came across was the BBC put out on their news feeds recently. But the BBC, what was interesting about yours was a Europe-wide.
Yeah.
Quick snapshot. The
this
UK,
is New Scientist.
The UK recently, actually themselves. I think it's I don't know if it's the Office for Tropical Diseases or whatever it's called, that think tank, and another one, and I don't know if the National Health Service is involved, but basically in the UK, they've said that 2,700 people since May have unalive due to heat.
In England?
Yeah, this is UK wide. We say England, Wales, and I loathe to say it, but the Northern Ireland, but I believe in a free island anyway. But yeah, you know what it is? This is a long time coming, and what you've proved today as well is, look at how some people want to pretend that, and you've given some more historical context to it, want to pretend that certain people haven't, in relative recent times in world history, particularly haven't been G-siding people off the face of the planet, whole scale, on an industrial level. And then thinking that, and it's this thing of wanting to, always the sense of hyper-individuality, and wanted to decenter themselves. There's always everyone seeking absolution. It was never them, it was never their forefathers, it was always somebody else. And if you times that by millions and millions of people, no one's taking accountability. Next one, we've got a mysterious person who enslaved loads of people and unalive people. We can never find the culprit. But the universe doesn't work like that. It's identify the culprit.
That's right.
It's burning up.
The universe sees all. Yeah, the universe sees all. Well, this is the problem with religion. So I have a big problem with religion, by the way. I was atheist for over 40 years, but then I had a spiritual awakening 2 years ago. And so I didn't believe in terms like God and the universe and things like that. I thought it was just a planet and we just live and die. That's genuine, I thought, for the majority of my life. The last 2 years, I've understood now things like karma and consequence and actions and behaviors and like so many different things about humans and who's human and who's not, by the way. And yeah, realizing that the universe is a giant container essentially full of energy, and energy is infinite. It doesn't go away. It doesn't disappear. It always recycles and comes back. And this is why karma is one of those things. And even when you talk about, so for example, I mentioned COVID a few times, even when you look at COVID, right? So like I said, 2 million people died in Europe. That's the highest number of COVID deaths. And if you break it down in Europe specifically, UK has the second highest amounts of deaths at 232,000. Then it's Italy, then it's Germany, then it's France, then it's Spain. The colonizers.
Yeah.
The colonizers, And even when you brought up the UK figures, France has 1,000 excess deaths when it comes to the heat weather. All of these things are coming back around. They're coming back around. And, the funny thing is when it comes to karma and things happen in the UK, certain things have been said for quite some time. So even if we talk about the World Cup, right, we talk about football, England chanting, it's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming home. They've been chanting that same shit for 60 years now.
Yeah.
It's not coming home. That's karma. It will never come home. It will never come home. Argentina didn't win. Did they not win? So what, did Spain win? Spain won the World Cup.
Spain won, yes.
So black people won. So black people won.
But then Fox, as soon as they blew the whistle, they started fighting the players on the pitch. Like they started beating each other up.
You know that the UK didn't invent football. You know what England claimed to invent football? They didn't invent it. I mean,
I got corrected. It's China, isn't it, apparently?
It's China. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's China. I keep telling people all the time. I mean, look, I actually love Buddhism, I do. And I find it very attractive. Mahay Zen Buddhism particularly. And, not that, and also, when I say that, people think, they often hear me getting angry with fascists and that. They go, oh, you're supposed to be a Buddhist. But I never said that I was never going to get angry with fascists, though, did I? Just because I said I was a Buddhist, I didn't say I was an infallible human. And I'm not going to get emotional angry, or not necessarily emotional, just angry with fascists, because I see fascism as an existential threat to my existence. Just simple as that. We can talk.
It's true. It is.
We can have conversations because listen. Guess what? In the UK, this is the worrying thing. We now get some very calm, young ethno-nationalists who are espousing the race replacement theory and want they want England to become, the UK to become 90% white and have a forced deportation. And they're saying it calmly with a little smirk in their voice. I don't think it's funny because they're talking to me and it's an existential threat and want to disrupt my life. Whether I want to stay in the UK or not, it's not their choice. And because I do, sometimes I will cut out the conversation and intellectualizing and think, well, now we're going to reach a clear trajectory. The trajectory is that you're an existential threat to my life and you wish me harm. So we can cut talking out now. Let's get straight to the offence and defence situation. But that might seem anti-intellectual, but that's where I go, because it's a natural trajectory with that kind of fascist understanding. And at some point, if they get their wish, the talking ends for me, and they're not talking to me anymore, and they want to grab me, possibly accost me, and chuck me out of the country. So that's why I do it. So Buddhism, karma. I definitely believe in it, and yeah.
Thank you so much.
I love your prompt. It's something I believe in. There was a really good hip hop artist, a spiritual artist, and I forgot who it was actually. So that sounds silly, and I forgot exactly how his lyrics was. But he did say something about that as well. Like how the planet's going to burn up. Or was it a little skit at the start of the track? I think he gave a preacher. I think he might have given a sort of evangelical preacher who was being a bit pro-black within his sermon, forget the colonization of Christianity, and he said something about what makes them think that the world isn't going to burn within intensity for all the bad things they've done.
Yeah, and this isn't those of you who know that this hasn't been the first Earth. There's been an Earth, I don't know how many beforehand, but there's definitely been some beforehand, and this one is, like we mentioned earlier, and Inti mentioned earlier, thank you, Grania, that this is now the final days. And for those of people who are awake now, this is about raising the consciousness of people. Like I said, it's for everybody now to actually understand this conversation and to understand what humanity is supposed to look like, which is going back to how it was before. Just one quickly, because I'm going to move to the next person. I'm going to move to Leanne.
Yeah, I agree with you. I concur. I just wanted to say, sorry, because it's excitable. Yeah, there's a paradigm shift. There's definitely a paradigm shift and a universal awakening. Definitely. I mean, people used to talk about the age of Aquarius, but I would say in this time, definitely shifting, overstanding. There's been a paradigm shift, and a lot of people have become awakened and got in tune with the pineal gland and starting to see certain things going on the line. Plus, the elites know that as well, by the way, because they started to lift the veil up there. They lifted the veil off the beast. Epstein's Island, it didn't happen by mistake. They're lifting the veil off and saying, "We're here. Is this okay?" With the seeking karmic permission. And
you are absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And even in my mind, I was trying to think about these cycles. There were cycles of humanity awakenings. So the 70s was a big one because, of course, we saw the peace, love hippies. The 90s again was one when we were seeing people who were actually protesting against the Iraq war. And of course, we're now seeing it against Palestine. We're seeing it with Black Lives Matter. We've seen so many protests and so many people understanding things since 2020. Where, you're right, the 1% are scared, because if you wake up to the 1%, you realise that they've been the enemy against everybody this whole entire time. So thank you so much, Sunny. Thank you for that. Really appreciate your comments. Right, we're going now to my dear Leanne. Leanne, my darling.
Yes, girl. So, okay, wait. I actually have time to adjust the prompt. Sorry.
Yes,
I'm in mod mode. Oh my days. Okay, the universe is unaliving the whites. Well, I believe so. A lot of us believe so. And you know what's quite funny? I've heard a lot of white people say the same thing, that the population of the white people in the UK is decreasing at a fast rate. It's because of immigrants, because of migrants, it's because of anybody that is not white. We are the reason why. They don't actually care about the women that are fed up with the men now in the UK, and we just don't want to have children with you anymore, because the men have turned into the new women of 2026, and you want to have flowers, so have your flowers now. So yeah, I just find it very interesting on the whole, it's fun. We're erasing them out and whatever else, because I feel like yes and no. I feel like the UK, because I'm only going to talk on like this, specifically UK, yeah. Mm-hmm. So UK still is predominantly white, even though, we have the rhetoric of it's not anymore. It's actually too many immigrations happening in this country, too many boats coming in. We're wiping them away everywhere you go. There's a Muslim woman, there's a Sikh brother, there's a black auntie on your street. The kids aren't safe no more. I'm worried for their safety. I'm worried for my safety. But but yet the statistics still prove that you guys are still the bigger percentage. So I'm just trying to understand where, okay, if we are wiping you guys out, how are we apparently doing it? Because the same way we have children is the same way you guys can have children. The same way we move to prevalent areas for the better of our children and ourselves and quality of life, you guys do the same thing. But when we do it, it's a problem. When we want better for ourselves, it's an issue because we don't even deserve to be here. But then when you do it, you deserve to be here because for some reason now I'm hearing a lot of white people say the word native.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard it, Fox.
Yeah, of course I have. Anglo-Saxons think that they're more native than Celtic people who've been here for hundreds of years before them. Yeah, this native stuff is so silly, like really, 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 really so bloody silly. And every time you tell them to go back to Germany, they start crashing out. Like, oh, yeah, Germany! Like, that's where you
they
came
will
from,
happily
though.
say, I have Germanic roots. And I'm like, okay, if we take away the IC and then put a Y at the end, what country does that spell?
That's true, they do. They do.
Oh my gosh.
They do.
Like,
they say it's Germanic. Like, yeah, that means like part of Germany as well. And they're like, no, we came from Denmark. Like, yeah, as well as Germany. Why? Because again, this is what their own propaganda done. Because they turned themselves against themselves during World War I and II and saw them as the enemy. They literally like, we don't want to have anything to do with Germany. It's like, why? And Hitler was Austrian. So what's the problem? Literally, what's the problem?
Understand.
He was Austrian. Love Germany. Like, embrace your... Because if you have self-hatred, this is the problem for humanity, because they hate themselves, then they started to hate everybody else. If they actually started to look a bit more into their culture and their roots, I'm sure they would find the beautiful things in there and they would be less horrible to the rest of us.
Honestly, like, I find their whole, like, because they all say the same script. It's very boring now. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like, I get too bored now. But I just find it so interesting how white people are now so oppressed in 2026, but the police system is against black and brown people. The NHS is bad for black and brown people. The schooling system is bad for black and brown people. What other system? The care system for children is bad for black and brown people. What other system is there? The housing is bad for black and brown. Every system that is set up in this country is bad for us. Yeah. We now have politics that is actively saying they don't want anyone with black or brown skin here. Yet somehow, guys, we're still here and we're thriving and we're multiplying. But yet you guys are the ones that have the most power, but don't yet seem to wipe us out yet. And I just find, I'm really trying to understand sometimes when it's like, yeah, but you guys need to go and you guys are taking over and Muslims this and black people that and Indian people this. And I'm like, okay, you all, in every system set up in this country, the power is in your hands. So if we're that bad, do something about it. And now when there's politicians doing something about it, we're saying, by the way, just letting you know, your politicians that want us out, this is what they actually want. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's just to stop the boats. If you want to stop the boats, you would have kept Keir Starmer in. But then when you even bring up one statistic, it's like they lose brain cells and like, look, UHCR, immigration, asylum. It was like, so you have no idea what you're saying, but you just voted and you're just hateful, right? So
we know they're just repeating what they've heard. That's all they're doing. No critical thinking skills. Askari, I'll come to you next. No critical thinking skills. No new knowledge. No new information. And it's very frustrating. And I know you experience this too, Leanne, when you go around on TikTok, when you actually see those spaces where they're having these discussions and you come and actually tell them the truth or present to them other information. The immediate shutdown, the immediate muting. Like, honestly, like, let me explain something real quick to the people here. Those of you who see some of us go around on TikTok, I know you see Leanne go around, I know you see me go around. When you see us on those like right-wing panels, or let's say not even right-wing, but just stupid people panels, because they're fucking stupid. They're just stupid, right? They're repeating the same stuff over and over again. And when you say, well, actually, what this means is the muting. The constant muting, the muting. And it's like, actually, but have you read the manifestos? Have you read these things? Have you read have you seen this? Have you seen this? The muting is honestly crazy.
How am I sitting here educating you on you voting against my skin color? I'm educating you on something that hates me, and yet still I'm the wrong one. Do you think I want to educate you to hate me even more? Like, do you think let's use brain cells. Do you think I want to sit here and be, yeah, by the way, what you voted for, it's not about the immigrants and migrants. It's actually anybody 5 generations back that is not white gets deported. Yeah, but the Windrush generation. No. Was it yesterday? Yeah. No. Oh my lord! Yesterday, for example, everyone's saying how apparently diversity in the UK is now a social experiment. I kept hearing this buzzword, social experiment. Yeah, and this was coming from a Pakistani man, which is what it was. It was the most ironic thing ever. Yeah. So then he was like, then another person who was white came up and said, yeah, we don't want immigration. I said, just pause for a second. If we look at history, the UK actually wanted immigration. They were the ones bringing people over.
It's an island of invasion and immigration since BC. It's literally how the UK was created, by different waves of people coming for hundreds and hundreds of years.
So infuriating.
This is the fragility of whiteness, because it's turning a little less white. They're like, no! That's literally them. Because I talk about the racial hierarchy a lot, right? And I talk about how British people put themselves at the top. But when we say British, we mean the English, because they're the ones that created this, right? So they thought that they were the whitest of white. Then they put Central Europeans underneath, and then Western Europeans, and then Eastern Europeans. So that's why they still discriminate against other Europeans when they come to the UK. And as we know, they hated the Eastern Europeans, and they still hate the Irish. We still see this in the Scottish and the Welsh. They disrespect these people. But they still could kind of accept and be very annoyed with other white people. But because this percentage is going down of whiteness, it is unsettling them. But again, it's easier for them to blame us than rather to think about this karma. In fact, that the universe is actually universe. I said it instead of universe. Universe is doing these things to them. So, it's just so funny, this whole conversation. And when me and Leanne go around and see these conversations on TikTok, and just the fact that these people are so unwilling to actually see what's happening, and the fact that they're so stuck in their old programming. And, it is very, very, very concerning to me how so many English people or white people just don't want to hear anything else.
No.
And it's annoying, isn't it, Leanne? Because at least we come with truth and facts, and they just get angry and they start insulting and saying horrible things. They can't even argue with common sense and intelligence. They just cannot do it. They cannot do it. It's fine, you might have your opinion, but present your opinion with how you've read sources. Okay, I get it. I get that propaganda still exists. So if you're going to tell me that white people ended slavery, I'll be like, yeah, I understand why you think that way. I understand why you think that because of William Wilberforce, blah, blah, blah. But you're forgetting the other part about the revolutions, about the Sons of Africa, about Aluda Equiano, who actually managed to push these things through government because of them, because of black people. It wasn't because of white people, because you didn't want to end slavery at all. And it was turned down by government 11 times. So yes, you think that Britain ended slavery, but again, you only ended it in the Commonwealth, places where you killed millions of people first. You're only picking up part of the story and not the whole story. And if we're presenting you the whole story, why are you annoyed about it?
Yeah.
Literally, why are you annoyed
I'll
about
leave
it?
with this last example, then I'll pass the mic on. So this is just to highlight how stupid we're in 2026. I was on a TikTok live a couple of days ago. It's about reform, restore, immigration, whatever crap. There's this white woman, she was in her middle 40s, just saying, yep, love immigration, we want to get them out, da-da-da-da-da-da. She then distinguished who she voted for. Me and a couple of others that go around on this app, just making sure that the real facts are there when you do vote, went to her and I was like, hi, so are you just confirming who you voted for? She goes, yes. On her profile, she's displayed that she's got a disabled son. He's between like 18 or 21, between that age range. We couldn't distinguish if he's like sixth form college or like a young adult over 18. So then one of the panelists went to her, oh, by the way, like I'm also like, I'm a part of the SEN community, I'm a SEN mum. I've seen on your profile you're a SEN mum as well, right? She goes, yeah, my son's got cerebral palsy, autism. So she starts pouring out her heart, which again, thank you for being vulnerable. But then I said to her, you do realise who you've just voted for is going to strip away your son's disabled rights and yourself as his carer, right?
Yeah.
She went completely silent after we started telling her all the defunding they're doing towards special educational needs. I said, you know, your local council, you know, they're about to defund does your son get private cabs? Does he get transport funded by the local authority and council? Yeah, that's the first thing they're going to take away from your son. She started crying on the live. She was like, I'm so sorry. Like I said, please don't let the brainwashing of immigration, boats, stop you with the facts of what they really want to do. Yesterday, I think they've now got a new leader. Don't want to say his name because I can't be asked. And he's released everything that he's now trying to accomplish. I think one of the first things is removing the EHR and then trying to replace the Human Rights Act. Guys, wake up. I just want the Reform Restore voters just for a second, wake up. If they want to remove an act that protects everyone's human rights that exists in this world and then rewrite it, why remove it in the first place? There we go. Let's go to the next speaker.
Yeah, thank you, Leanne. Exactly. Yeah, a lot of us, and actually the reason why I got muted in the last live that I was on was because I was talking about just that, Leanne. And you know that we mentioned this quite a lot here about the ECHR, about the Human Rights Act. You know, they think we're being dramatic when we say certain things like the Human Rights Act actually stops the government from killing you, and it's not. And you know, they've never read the Human Rights Act. They don't know what it is. They don't know what protection it provides. They don't know it means that it gives you entitled to housing, to education, to healthcare. They don't know any of these things at all. And it is so unfortunate that there's a massive proportion of English people and British people that are so uneducated that they don't care what they're voting for. And they're voting to hurt everybody. It's very sad. Thank you so much, Leanne. Thank you. Ascari next, please. Ascari, how are you?
Thanks, sister, for letting me on. You know, honestly, I didn't even know I was one. I've literally just jumped on. But thanks for letting me on. But listening in from since, you know, yesterday and listening to you sisters, you know, I just have to say this, you know, and we have to understand this. This is literally, it's part of the heritage, you know. So, and when I always say this, I've been debating and, you know, white supremacy since, you know, 2017 on different type of channel from YouTube. Yeah, a different type of YouTube. But God damn it, man! Here comes another one. But like I was saying, the only you know, and one thing, my conclusion, what I've come to understand is that the last present that were passed on by their grandparents is this so-called word of racism. You know, remember this: you're always gonna be better than that person. Deny them their human rights. We abolished slavery. Colonization was a benefit. We civilized you guys. This was passed down to them. And even though they might not have been passed down to you, but they're just naturally, how do I say it? I think you understand what I'm saying, right?
Well, it was because they came from after the Second World War, right? People don't understand. Second World War was only 75 years ago. It's not that long ago. Is my maths correct? No, it's 85
100%. And you know,
it's not that long ago. Like your family members were still kids around that age. They were still alive. They then were told by their government that they're doing a great thing. Like I've said, like fighting for your country. You've got to fight for your country because everything is propaganda in the UK. You know, making sure that they think that the enemy is across the water. Right. Clearly, I'm talking. Please don't interrupt. Jacko will come to you when it's time. Everybody else is waiting on the panel to discuss. I go one at a time, please. So yeah, and this is how stories happen, right? It gets passed down generation to generation. Then of course you've got school, and the school also told you the same thing. Remember, a lot of us here, we grew up in the same education system we knew it. Thank you, Leanne. No, please stick around. You're fine on the panel. So we also grew up in that same system, thinking we, as black and brown people, should be proud of the First and Second World War. Our people weren't even in it. We weren't in it. They were in it as part of the Commonwealth because they bribed Indian people and African people, right, and said, oh, we'll give you this land if you fight for us. It will be a great honour because we see you as British citizens. But it was not our fight.
So don't forget that they were fighting in Africa for our land as well. Imagine that,
in the north,
two colonizers brought their war over but my point was trying to say, sister, is and they were past this heritage. And one thing that I was gonna say that was so important, is that this so-called, we on TikTok live, I'm gonna say Tommy Robinson, we all witnessed, when BLK and BLM had the protest and how mad he went just over the idea that BLK people deserve some type of justice and human rights and stuff like that. And this is the people that we're supposed to know that, and believe that they know. And yeah, sister, this word racist. And one thing that do really piss me off is that they want to put monopolism on what is racism and how they perceive racism. And they say racism is a word. They really believe, words like that is the true form of. Because how they create the dictionary and the English and so now they're like, they want to control the narrative of what is racism. This is why they always say that I've got black.
We didn't need dictionaries and things like that in our culture because we just communicated. Like they obviously had too many words and they didn't understand them. That's why they had to put them in books. Because English language, because English language is actually like not witchcraft, that's the wrong word because witchcraft is good, but like it's full of bad words and spells that they had to put them in the book and they had to change meanings of words and make them very negative. That's why they have the dictionary. On the note of dictionary, white people, you're going to love this the most. The dictionaries online, for example, Merriam-Webster.com, the definition of racism. I know you lot like to say black people are the most racist and racist. What have they done? They've changed the definition. This one's been like this for quite some time. Merriam-Webster has examples of racism where it's only showing white people being racist. Let me read it out to you right now. I don't know if I've said it on my live before, but I've definitely said it in other people's lives. Merriam-Webster.com/dictionary/racism. A behaviour or attitude that reflect and foster this belief, discrimination, prejudice or violence against people because of their race. Example, the kind of treacherous racism to which black people have been persistently subjected to can never be defeated by making its victims more respectable. Another example, for nearly 200 years, the black press has had to call out and confront the evils of violent racism. Another example, the war on drugs, cloaked in race-neutral language, offered whites opposed to racial reform as a unique opportunity to express their hostility towards blacks and black progress without being exposed to the charge of racism. Point 2, the systematic oppression of racial group to the social, economical and political advantage of another. Example, one of the many ruses racism achieves is the virtual erasure of historical contributions by people of colour. And so it goes on. There are no examples on this page talking about white people experiencing racism. We'll go to another, because you brought up dictionary. Dictionary.com, guys. Dictionary.com/browse/racism. When you scroll to the bottom, it tells you the usage of racism. What is racism? I'm clearly speaking. Don't interrupt me. You've interrupted me twice now, Jacko. Goodbye, you're dropped. Usage. What is racism? Racism is most commonly used to name a form of prejudice in which a person believes the superiority of what they consider to be their own race over others. This often takes form in believing that those with other skin colours, especially darker skin colours, are inferior physically, intellectually, morally and culturally, and mistreating and discriminating against them because such as this. Such a belief typically promotes the notion that white people are the default that whiteness is normal and that people with their other appearances are the ones who are different and inferior. These white platforms, these white dictionaries are updating you white people to tell you that you are the racist ones, that you created race and racism. So stop coming here playing the race card. It's pathetic as hell. You look ridiculous and you look weak. You look so weak. Right, last point, Ascari, then I'm going to move to Marcus.
I'm just and just gonna. I have to just say this, you know, and only like what was it 1950 something, yeah, and there are more people, over 300 people from my country, you know, they'll be put into concentration camp, castrated. So it's not been justice. And I guess what happened after that, right? You lot literally came in and you set up a military base. You named the whole city after your military base, and you out there causing all type of rape and unaliving, all of that. But when the justice finally comes to your door, to your footstep, yeah, we bring you court cases and justice. Guess what they say to us? We don't follow the Kenyan law. We want to be judged in Britain. So immunity, you know what I'm saying? It's mad, you know. There's so many people that suffered.
Thank you so much, Ascari. Thank you, Ascari. I'm going to move to the next person. Leanne, could you do a reset? I need to fill up my bottle. Also, Nick, even despite, see how desperate white people can be to experience racism, even though I've given examples and white people haven't experienced racism and they think that hurt feelings is racism. You got weak people like Nick in the comments section say, blacks can absolutely be racist, but you've got no examples, Nick, of it. And again, like I say, it is very pathetic for white people to act oppressed in a world that is built for you. Nick, take responsibility for your own weakness, that you were not able to achieve anything. And so you use the excuse of racism to the fact you haven't achieved anything. Embarrassing. Leanne, please, could you do a reset?
Yeah, sure. Hi guys, good morning. Thank you for joining. Hope you're all doing well, even the racists in this live. Please tap the screen, share the live, repost it as well. If you do have coins available, it would be appreciated if you did gift Fox and the panelists up on the panel as well. It would be appreciated. Those that are hateful, those that are racist, those that are hateful, those that are racist, homophobic, Islamophobic, phobic of all types, gonna get muted and blocked. Those that spam, again, muted because it's boring. Disrespect is not tolerated here, never will be tolerated here. And what else was I gonna say? Make sure you follow Fox. Make sure at the top left, you see Fox's picture. Make sure you do give her a follow. And then there's also the orange heart next to her, so you can send out heart me and join her little family gang. And as well, if you do enjoy these lives, make sure you also have your notifications on so you don't miss her lives, because sometimes the scheduling of the timing does change. So just to keep you up to date as well. And yeah, I'm just going to keep muting and looking at the comment section because it's quite funny.
Thank you so much for that, Leanne. Thank you always for everything that you do. Appreciate you so much. Okay, we're going to go to Ohu Found again. Ohu, how are you today?
I'm good, Empress. How are you on this lovely morning? You're looking fine as ever. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, lovely. Thank you, lovely. So this is the topic today, is the universe is killing the whites. Is it karma? Is it deserved? What would you like to add?
From my personal experience being a BOK person in this country, across the diaspora, I completely agree. You people that are racist, you're gonna get your comeuppance. You deserve every ounce of rays of the sun that is beating you, turning your skin red from the heat. You deserve it. Look, I'm so, like, oh, you see some white people, they really got on my nerves about, oh, black people are racist. What? Oh, you're racist. What? Sorry. What has any black person said to you or done to you that is considered racist?
Honestly, it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. When you ask them for stories of racism, they're always like, when I was at school, oh, you had to go back like 50 years ago. Okay. When I was at school, the black people wouldn't play with me or something stupid. Like, it's always some stupid, ridiculous stuff. Or then they talk about DEI, right? And it's like, but we're not in charge of DEI. That's your white country. and it doesn't even exist in the UK anyway. So you're blaming black and brown people for the fact that there is equality, but your white country has decided that there needs to be equality, and yet you're still blaming us.
Honestly, and sorry to cut you. I'll just say, I read something last week about two-tier citizenship that they're doing now. Yeah, I was like, oh, so you're saying that anyone that's born here, that's not, ethnically white or white British, because they're born here, they can get deported. So my grandparents came on the Windrush. My mum was born here. I was born here. My dad wasn't. I'm now going to get deported. What?
Yeah. Mimi has said that it's been around in place since 2002. Some of us have been affected already by the Windrush deportations. Thankfully, my family didn't get directly affected, but it was very touch and go for a little bit. And isn't it funny though, really, when this kind of stuff happens? And we have to understand as well, like I've said earlier, that this is not just a colour thing as well. This is English people, and this is why my platform is about Anglo-Saxons, because they deport Europeans a lot anyway, and they have done already. So, they just are not people who actually like others, and like I've said earlier, they don't like themselves, and this is why the punishment is happening for those people. It is for the white Western Europeans, it is for those with these empires that didn't see other humans as humans, because empire is possible. It is possible to take over, not take over, but to extend your hands out to other civilizations, and to trade and to share and to build. Empire is possible. But the way that the white Western Europeans did their shit is so unhealthy and so toxic that this is why this karma is happening, because Europe is the fastest heating continent on this planet. And for those of you who have just joined, let me read the statistics again. June heat wave may have killed around 20,000 people in Europe. 20,000 people. It will be some months before the true toll of Europe's worst ever heat wave is confirmed, but researchers can estimate a death count based on how many people have died in Europe in previous hot periods. Europe's most extreme heat wave so far may have killed between 17,000 and 25,000 people, according to early estimates based on past deaths from heat in the region. And I have to tell you guys, that's only in 1 week. 20,000 people in 1 week, from 28th of June to 28th of June. And in 2003, there were 70,000 deaths from weather in Europe. And now there's 20,000 in 1 week. And I brought up earlier, COVID killed 2 million Europeans. The most people who died from COVID is Europeans. This is all coming back. It is my belief it is karma, but I'm asking you guys about karma if you believe in it. But yes. I do believe that if you do bad, it comes back. And there are too many English people or too many white Western Europeans who are just so ignorant to this stuff and don't want to wake up from their programming and don't want to learn and don't want to listen and don't want to change. DeWolf, you're one of those people. You always come into my lives all of the time like a weirdo, spouting the same stuff over and over again. Karma's coming for you next, DeWolf. Bye. Enjoy your final days. See you later. Enjoy your retirement. Yes. Yeah, it's the same people. Oh, it's the same people. No, I'm not threatening you. The universe is. I'm repeating what the universe has said. It's not me who's got these statistics. It's not me who's got the facts. I'm reading it. What's the source? Of course, I can tell you. New Scientist is the source. You know New Scientist, right? You're familiar with New Scientist. My references always come from white people. And you don't like it. I use white history books. I use white references, white dictionary. It's from white people, and white people are telling you this stuff about yourself. It's not a black reference. It's white people. You see them get mad. Hilarious. Oh, who you've got some final points? We're going to move to the next person.
Yes. Also, Fox, Gotta say, some white people seem to forget history. They came from cavemen. We didn't, right? They're the ones that came out of the caves. The sun was beating their ass. Yeah, they're the ones that came from monkeys and dogs and pigs. They seem to forget their history. They share more DNA to animals than we do. Yeah, that's one point. Yeah, you guys are literally living in the last days. You guys are going back to your caveman's roots. Okay, don't worry. The time will come for you to get your last bits of racism, your last bits of
And they are
hatred
clearly.
out.
They are clearly.
Because
getting out all the negative energy, all that, like you say, all the hate, all the racism. It's all they have left, and that's why they're clutching onto their flag, because that's all they have. Oh, let me wrap myself in the flag for comfort, because it's painful. It's really painful for these people. That's why we can laugh. I have a video on my other page, actually on this page, talking about how white people aren't laughing anymore, about how we're just laughing at jokes and things, and they're just like, that ain't funny. It's like, oh, you can't laugh because you know you're going to hell. That's why. That's why they can't laugh. Lapis, final screams before oblivion. Exactly. Sanity says, jokes aside, I feel sorry for them. Please let us stop the hate in us. It's not good, or the human race. We don't have the hate. It's not us that has it. It's white people that has the hate. You have to understand.
Gotta say, when they say, "Why can't we all just hold hands and be loving?" No,
they
guys
couldn't.
Started this. You guys started your whole race hierarchy. White people are better than anyone else. Black people are on the shit on the floor. No.
Because we were holding hands. We extended our hands out to people. All of the other people, the global majority, extended their hands out to white Western Europeans, and look what they did. Thank you, Jason. They ate us.
Exactly.
They lynched us.
They
they colonized us. They raped us en masse. They did all of these things. This is what they did.
Lamont, are you not tired though? You're still alive.
They should be tired.
Are you not tired of saying that people win? It's upsetting you. It's clearly upsetting you. You've got to say, are we tired? No, we're tired of people that are spreading hatred, being racist towards black and brown people every single day. We face this going on the train, on the bus, at work, in jobs. I am tired. And the minute I say anything, oh, you're crying about... No, I'm not crying. I'm telling you how it is.
No. It's projection. It's always projection. And a lot of us are reborn. And so we've got energy again, actually. We ain't tired. We are not at the end. We're starting again. We're rebuilding. We're growing. We're educating ourselves.
You're all going to be deported back from where you came from. That's the ultimate thing.
Christ! Christ, do you know what?
I can't wait to deport you. The way you gush at all this, look at you guys.
Christ,
you're going to be deported. Whites are waking up. You're a tiny minority in our nation. And you're hated already.
Shush for a minute.
So you're going to go back. I can't wait. Many are.
Christ, where do you think I live?
You're going home to Africa.
Where do you live? Where do you think I live?
I don't care where you live. You'll be living in Africa soon enough if you don't already.
I already am.
Well, good. I just said if you don't already,
you white people.
Fuck.
No, you didn't say that. Actually, you didn't say that because you Neanderthals always do the same thing every single time. For 2 years, you say the same shit over and over again because you have nothing else to say. All you do is repeat, go home, get out the country. Leanne, remember like 2 days ago when I was in the airport, actually coming back because I was in the UK for a couple of days. They're like, go home. I'm like, I'm in the airport. They're stupid. They just say the same thing to everybody. I know they're also saying this to other black people. They're like, I'm already gone. Like, you literally, stay there then. No, bitch, I can do whatever I want. I got a British passport. I come back and forth just to piss you off, just to make you angry. That's what I do, Christ is King, because that's all you have left. It's just your anger. You just have your fury. That's it. You're done for. And you copy and paste and say the same thing to every single black person or brown person. Get out the country. You're going home. We can deport you. You sound stupid. And you don't even hear yourselves, but we hear you and it's hilarious. You're telling me I'm on holiday. This is what white people do all the time. They tell me on holiday. Yeah, it does feel like I'm on holiday. in this other country because it is so beautiful. And when I showed my house last time, some jealous white boy was like, yeah, it's a hotel. I'm like, yeah, my house looks that good. It doesn't look like a hotel. Because you can't do that shit in the UK because everything is too expensive. You guys can't even afford the houses that you live in. Boy, that boy obviously sounded young. He probably lives with his mum and dad, or he's got a property that he can't afford, because that's what most of us are like in the UK. You cannot afford your own property. And even your cars. Cars are on finance. You don't own that shit either. Can't afford the bills. Thank you very much. Exactly. You cannot afford anything in the UK. It is too expensive. So why the fuck are you championing that place? It is the end of humanity. Late stage capitalism. I went back, like I said 2 days ago, 1 meal for myself, £33 for myself, eating for what? I had one food and one cocktail. The cocktail glass wasn't even full. It was nice.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy, but it was nice, but it's expensive. And you want to say the UK is the greatest? You loser. You've absolutely lost in life if you can't afford to even have fun. Imagine that. The weather is so bad that you can't even go outside and enjoy yourself. And now it's so hot, it's cooking you. You can't even go outside now when it's hot.
Cannot afford kids.
Cannot afford children. You can't afford fun. And the sun is killing you. So then you go inside your house and you've got too much insulation. So you're dying inside the house. You can't go inside. You can't go outside. You can't do anything.
Oh, no.
So everybody needs to deport themselves, and people have been deporting themselves. There have been 500,000 people who've been leaving the UK every year. And I send my family and all the boat people to come to UK to do what? To price you out, Christ King, and all your people, to price you out, to make more money than you, because it's easier for us to make more money than you, because guess what? We're qualified, we're determined, we want to actually live, whereas you guys are like, I ain't got no skills. Oh, the world is against me. Oh, immigrants are more skillful than us, so I hate the immigrants. Oh.
I can't afford my brandy. I can't afford my alcohol. Oh, my cigarette.
Yesterday.
Oh, shut up.
Leanna, Leanna, you there? I think it was the panel yesterday with Rebel. Some man was crying that he couldn't afford brandy. Leanna, you remember? He was crying.
He was crying because a bottle of brandy cost him £31.99, and we was all like, are we being for real here? Is this alcoholic still speaking? Like, what?
Yeah.
Flipping hell.
He was crying, and that was it. It's like all they have. So let's update the list. They have racism, they have poverty, they have the flag, and they have alcohol. And this is why they get annoyed at the pub, because it's £8.50 a pint, right? They're like, the Muslims are closing the pub. It's like, no, you can't fucking afford a drink. That's it. You cannot afford. You're depressed. And instead of going to therapy, right? Instead of going to 3 NHS therapy, you turn to the drink, you turn to the bottle. And that keeps you comfort as well, because you can't even heat your house. And so you've got your alcohol jacket in there as well. You're wrapping yourself up in the flag. Oh, it's so cold. Oh, I'm so poor and cold, but let me just drink my drink. Oh, it is a sad fucking life in England. And you will still try to say it's amazing. And honestly, I want everybody to leave who's not black and brown after they make their money, to leave you on the island of misery by yourselves. Yep. So then you can cry and do what? Turn against each other like you always have done. Your history has just shown you've always turned against yourselves. And so when we're out of the way, you can then end yourselves faster, because the universe is doing it, but you will do it for yourselves anyway. And I talk many times about karma. I've talked about like suicide rates, you know, they're up as well for the whites, because we ain't doing that shit. They're going up. We talk about even the cave diving. We've talked about that. They're going on alive in that way.
Oh my gosh,
on Mount Everest. Yeah, the Mount Everest.
Why are you going where you're not wanted? Why are you climbing to where you're not wanted? Are you okay? You're climbing to somewhere up high. I don't understand. You come up missing. Oh, we don't know where Susie is. She's climbing up to Mount Everest where she doesn't belong.
Hello? Exactly. They're doing it to themselves because we don't have it in our hearts to do what they did. Right, thank you so much, Ohu. I had to obviously kick off a little bit there. Thank you. I'm going to move to Tune Art now. Tune Art, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
What would you like to add, please? The universe is killing the whites.
Well,
what do you think about that?
Well, I just feel like, you know, if you go back to, I'm not even a Christian, but if you go back to some of our, you know, our knowledge that they took from us, from our ancestors. They put some of the scriptures that says the Lord God's Son is the shield, and Lord bestow favor and honor. No good thing does he not withhold for those that walk in blameless. So if the Son itself is God's and they call his Lord God, so that's just telling you that the ancestor is coming back. And the Son actually is a frequency to the earth itself, which is Mother God, right? And the Mother Deity herself, she's earth. So if your frequency is not actually aligning to the earth and you're not a natural person, everything you do is fake, synthetics, and destroying people, definitely you're parasite. A parasite can live with the sun. So when the sun starts shining, the frequency comes, the cycle comes. A lot of people are going to look like they see Medusa, petrified. That's what it's going to end up like. So all these fake foods as well they're creating, eating GMO, pork, all this pig blanket, plant pudding, you're going to fry, you're going to burn, just because these are not aligning to the frequency of nature. So most of all these stuffs, London Bridge will soon be burning if they're not careful, and most people won't be able to have enough fire engine to quit this fire. So, but the problem is we black people too. We need to start going back to our native land, just because they will always find solution to block the. They say they want to block the sun 2 years ago, right before the sun cycle, and they be spraying stuff in the air like trying to block it. So they're not successful at the end of the day. But most of us are black melanin. We still need to be charging ourselves because sun is like our battery charger, right? So we need to go back and be grounding to the mother sun land so we can get all this electron there. And most of them in Europe that are just doing all this fake ass stuff, their battery is going to die because the sun doesn't like battery anyway. So all this technology stuff is still going to break down anyway at the end of the day. So nature is going to take its course. I'll leave it there.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Your pig in blanket comment is just so funny. It's true. Like we've talked about this before actually on a Saturday, and I'm going to do it this weekend because I've been away and I've been quite busy. I was doing a Black Live. Nate, I don't know if you're still here, but we talked about processed food and blackness and actually trying to live off the land. Thankfully, where I live now, I grow my own fruits in my garden. I grow tangerine, I got peaches, I got plums, I got lemons. At my house, I've got 2 doors away, I've got oranges, and watermelon season here. I talked about watermelon season is so freaking beautiful. I try to grow as much as I can. It was quite hard for me actually, like living in the UK and processed food, it's easy to get addicted to that kind of stuff. But since I've lived here, I've reset a little bit more and I'm drinking so much water. You guys know all the time on the live, I'm always drinking from this. This is water all of the time, all of the time, all of the time, all of the time. Oh, who's growing tomatoes, radishes and other veggies? Fantastic. Yeah, at my other house over there, I'm growing tomatoes as well. I've got onions as well growing over there. I'm trying to grow my own melons. That's actually quite hard. But yes, we're supposed to be living off of the land. That's what we did before the colonizers came. And, they keep talking about this industrial revolution. Oh my God, those of you who were there the other day, oh my God, some of you were here. There was a woman who, she was in the army and she was talking about serving in Kosovo. If you give me a thumbs up or give me a yes if you remember. So I was talking about how black people do revolution and how we're revolutionists, and also brown people are as well. And she said, yeah, we also do revolution, the industrial revolution. Like, woman, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. That's what she said. She said the Industrial Revolution was like the type of fighting revolution. No. And she tried to say that she was in Kosovo and she served 3 wars. And I said, oh, well, tell me about what it was like there in the wars. And she said, look it up. I said, no, you went there. You tell us about it. She said, well, have you heard of it? I said, I've heard about it, but I don't know anything about it. Tell us, you were there. And she said, oh, I went there because the Queen told me to go there. So you guys remember, yeah. The Queen told me to go there. Like, what do you mean she told you? You never met her. You don't know who that is. She's never been to your house. She's like, but I served the country. I served Queen and country. I said, why? As soon as I said why, meltdown, discombobulate. She was brain dead. She was. And she left the conversation because I was asking her why. Just why. And she exploded. Honestly, it was one of the most bizarre comments, but bizarre conversations I've ever had. 3 wars she's been to, this woman. 3 wars, and she doesn't know why the hell she was even there. It was crazy. Right, Tuna, have you got some last points? Otherwise, we're going to move to Neon Guts.
Respectfully, I'm done there, but thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Loved your comments. Thank you. Neon Guts, it's been a while, my lovely. How are you? Neon Guts, are you there? Neon Guts, yay!
And I got a
Hello, my
cold
darling.
aura, like I got neon guts. Do you know what? I don't even know why I'm here. I'm brushing my teeth. Must be a total accident. I'm sorry. But thanks for continuing your lives. Big up, Leon.
That's all right.
Love you guys. Drop me, please.
I will drop you. Okay, enjoy. That's it. Good dental health. That's very important, guys. Dental health. If you want to live long, brush your teeth twice a day, scrape your tongue, use a water flosser, and use a pick. Dental health is very important. Look after your mouths. Well done, girl. Right, we've got someone next, please. Someone, how are you?
I'm alright, you?
I'm lovely, thank you. So this is the topic. Is this karma? Is it deserved? The universe is killing the whites. What have you got to add?
I came up to correct a lot of things that you've said.
Oh, a lot of them? Go ahead. I'm going to sit back and let you correct me.
Right. First of all, World War I was entirely justified. It was a response to a Serbian killing an Austrian in Bosnia, an assassination, a political assassination of someone who wanted equality in the Austrian Empire. That's true.
In your mind. Go ahead.
No, go on, tell me, why is that not true?
I've already explained why it's not true. You're disagreeing. You've got another version of it, and everybody else is disagreeing in the comment section. But carry on. Next one.
Right. It was a response to assassination, which was justified.
Excuse. It was an excuse.
No, the person assassinated...
Logically, if 9 kings and millions of people get dragged to their death over the assassination of one person, does that make sense?
Yes, in this case it does, because it was a boiling pot. If you look at the history of Europe at the time...
Yeah, European shit. This is how you deal with things.
It was a powder keg, right? There were secret alliances.
Yeah, white people, angry
tension.
white people. Yeah, tensions with angry white people. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Right.
Angry white people. You said it was a powder keg. They had one person died, and that one person was killed, and so 50 million. So 53 million of you had to die, and you said it was justified.
It was justified in the sense of it was a response, because this is confusing, but it's easy to explain, right? So the Serbians were allies with... Right, hang on. So, essentially, it's that... So, because this Serbian killed this Austrian in Bosnia, the Austrians... Right, hang on, sorry. It is confusing to explain.
You should know. You came up here to correct me. The first thing you said was, "I'm going to correct all the things that you said, Fox," and I'm sitting back relaxing, and you're like,
okay.
Come on, then, correct me.
Right, fine, Jesus. Right. So Russia was not happy with the fact that the Serbians killed the Bosnians because they were allies, right? And whose allies were the Russians? The Serbians were not. Hang on a second. Fucking hell.
He's reading his notes.
No, okay.
Yeah,
it's been a while since
your paper.
No, it's been a while since I've actually talked about it, so it's a bit difficult. The point is, it was a chain reaction where one was allied. No, okay.
You came up here bold as brass. And now you've got an audience of 143 people watching you right now. You're not doing very well, sir.
Okay, fine. Right. It's simple terms. It was a chain reaction where one was allied to the other was allied to the other, and the other was allied to the other. Right? That's simple terms. The reason Britain got involved was because of Belgium. Because Belgium was allied with Britain, and Germany, because they were threatened by France as well as Russia, they had to attack the other side, which meant we had to get involved as well. That's how...
Yeah, exactly. 9 kings.
It was justified.
9 kings.
No, it wasn't 9 kings.
Yes, it was 9 kings. It was 9 kings, my dear.
There was a Tsar, a Kaiser, and a king. Those were the 3 that were related. They were cousins because their grandmother was Queen Victoria. And actually, it was not because they were related. In fact, the fact they were related was easier, because if Queen Victoria was still alive at that time, which had only passed away 13 years before, then actually it would have been a lot easier to resolve, because they all feared Queen Victoria. She was known as the grandmother of Europe, colloquially, because she has so many relatives who were leaders of Europe. So that's one point. World War One was
then correct me on some more. Yeah, in your minds, Neanderthal. Go on.
English people are native to Great Britain. There's an Oxford study about it. You can look at it, and I can tell you the exact source. I can source it right now.
Go on then. Oh, he's got to find his source, guys.
It's just getting the name.
Yeah, go on.
It's called. Who do you think you really are? A genetic map of the British Isles. Oxford, University of Oxford.
Yeah, it's the same one that says that you're Celtic, right? It's the one from with sources from Ancestry.com that says that you're mostly German.
No, actually, because the Celts were not replaced. They were merged with the Anglo-Saxons and Greeks.
Merged!
That means we have ties.
Which
That means we have ties.
you are native. No!
It does.
That does not make you...
We have ties. We have connections to it. Genetically speaking, we have connections to it.
Sorry, just a quick advert break.
Jesus.
Advert break for 10 seconds. Quick advert break. Thumbs up if you agree with what someone is saying. Thumbs down if you disagree with what thumb's saying. Go on, continue.
Right. Well, you can look at the study.
We've all looked at the study. We've all looked at the study. But you Anglo-Saxons always pick and choose. It says that. No, it doesn't. No, it does not.
It says 80% of British population.
You Anglo-Saxons are something else. You Anglo-Saxons are something else. You're something. You're so desperate to experience things that you don't even have. You're not indigenous to Britain. You also can't experience racism. You get left out of these conversations.
Actually, that's funny you say that, because there's another example of black people being racist to white people. There's an example of black people being systemically racist to white people, and I can tell you that.
Oh, systemically?
Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, they forcefully...
How old are you, young lad?
18.
Young lad? 18. Future of Britain, guys. The future of Britain
keep mocking me because you're wrong.
looks so perfect.
Keep mocking me because you're
This
wrong.
is what I mean. This is why the universe is unaliving them in the brain with lack of intelligence. The fact that he came up here and was like, I can correct you, old lady. But you haven't shown anything.
I didn't call you old, did I? When did I call you old?
No, but I am an old lady in comparison.
I'm not going to call you old.
I know, I didn't say that you called me old. I am an old lady in comparison to you, young bean. Listen, man.
Well, I'd be young and old, though, so...
Yeah, but there's no point you being young anyway, because you're going extinct anyway. So it doesn't matter how long I am, because my energy is infinite. I've been on this earth a long time. And you are an Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah, that just means you won't have much longer.
I'm infinite. My energy is infinite.
You know that stuff's
universe,
rubbish, right?
The universe has actually decided that you and your people are going extinct and you're never to return. So your 18 years will be, you'll find out. You'll find out.
Anyway.
This is the average UK DNA, which is actually by facts, not by fragile opinions of the white
University of
Europeans.
Oxford.
So listen, look at this. Ancestry.com.
So is that a credible source?
Yes, it is, because it's actually... Yes, of course it is, because it's been repeated
I'd like to see the exact website
many times.
I'd like to see the exact website and citation.
Ancestry.com.
I want to use the exact citation.
We don't overspeak, by the way. It's a conversation. It's not a shouting match, yeah?
Here.
No, I'm just saying I want to see the source for that.
Ancestry,
Like,
yes,
go into
British
it.
are less British than we think. Fine, I'll
Go
go to the
into
actual
that.
page.
Like, go into the actual page.
Fine, little boy. I will go into the page
Fine,
from
old lady.
Ancestry that
Like,
says, Ancestry,
that
the British are less British than we think. This is the same reference I give 100% of the time. Ancestry DNA study reveals that the average UK resident is only 36% British, which is the Anglo-Saxon part. And if you go here, British Anglo-Saxon part, 37%. Irish Celtic is 22%. 20% Western European, French and German. 9% Scandinavian. 3% Iberian Peninsula. 2% Greek. And 7% other.
Yeah,
You're
still
mostly
not sure how
German.
accurate that
You're
is.
mostly German. You're
That's not
mostly
accurate.
German.
That's not accurate.
Why is an ancestry DNA test less accurate than your
Then an
source?
Oxford study that also did an Oxford University study, the most prestigious university in the world.
Oxford University. What did they do? How do they actually test people? How did they test it?
Bro, and it's clear that this guy's never been to university.
He's clearly never been.
Yeah,
He's
it's
well,
clear,
he was 18,
yeah, because
so he's clearly
an Oxford
not.
study, my friend, would be citing the primary data from somewhere like Ancestry.com. They're the owners of the largest data of the largest genetic banks. Any Oxford study would be citing data from Ancestry.com.
Exactly. I've gone to
Obviously,
the
you've
source.
not been to university. With
Someone.
all due respect,
Yeah.
you've obviously not been to university.
Clearly, because you have to make a reference point of where you actually got that from. Oxford would give the source. Someone is going to check his references of that. Right, to be honest, I'm done with that little boy now anyway. So he came up here and he tried to correct me on some stuff. He didn't correct me on nothing. He tried to say, black people are racist. I wasn't even going to get to that point anyway. That was a little bit of entertainment for the people. So Mimi's here, my darling. Mimi, how are you?
Morning, long
Hello,
time, it feels like. So, listen, there's so much that can be said. University killing the whites, we know it's happening, and it's happening. I think they know it's happening as well. But rather than actually get their life jacket, they're happy to try and push their own heads underneath the water still. I came in initially when you guys were talking about the dictionary, which cracks me up because it annoys me when I hear people talk about, oh, black people can be racist.
Stay mad, you stupid bint. You're wrong.
All right, you silly gunt.
Neanderthal, see, exactly. They demonstrate your point perfectly. Andy P, all you came up was to do that. Is to, I want to be mean to ladies. Neanderthal crash outs are always so funny. Like literally, you have the highest DV rates in Europe, by the way, Neanderthal, English Neanderthals. And so what you want to do is actually just be mean to women because guess why? You're scared of other men. You are terrified of other men. You are weak beings, and so you think you have strength and you just come up here and say mean words to women, and look at us, we don't give a shit, we're still carrying on. Mimi, continue, my love.
Sorry. So just the dictionary, actually, when they use the dictionary definition, it always cracks me up because the dictionary at the very beginning tells you that it's not a source. It tells you cannot use it as a source. It's very clear that it is a way of us documenting how language is used at a certain point, and they are very clear. So the fact that Merriam-Webster's actually gone and done that makes me laugh because they're probably fed up a bit too. Because we know racism is a clearly defined term. Racism refers to white oppression towards black people. It cannot be flipped around. It's a clearly defined term. In the same that misogyny refers to men oppressing women, women can uphold misogyny, but we cannot be misogynist. So again, it's a clearly defined term, just like xenophobia. There are other isms that are out there as well. So when they try to do this whole Jedi kind of reverse mind trick, it never hits. Because at the end of the day, it's their imperialist system and colonialism and the mechanism of which is racism that they're trying to achieve there. And so no matter how much you engage with them on this definition, they never not quite get in there. But anyway, it grates me, but it also bemuses me. When he used World War I as well, I kept saying to Africa the Bunch, don't you dare help him out. Because we always get taught it was a family affair. It was a family argument that dragged all of us into it. So when he was like, it's quite simple, it's so simple that you can't explain it yourself. And this is why I say to myself, like, sometimes you just have to leave them alone because demonstrate every time why that their racism is allowing them to kill them, to unalive themselves, and it's circular. We had, if he was referring to WW1 and 2, this, I always say this: the social contract was broken. You went to WAR under the guise that you were fighting against fascism. Why are we seeing a new iteration of fascism now? So clearly, it doesn't make sense. Even what you were sold a pot for to go to like these places and unalive in such inhumane circumstances and under the theatre of war anyway. You're now doing the same thing again. You've allowed Elon Musk, a guy who's not even British, Tommy 10 Names, who again doesn't hold the same passport, and other people to come in and recreate their own techno-feudalism. You're going back, you're recessing, you're going back into what your ancestors fought against. At what point is it going to start clicking for you that, you know, racism doesn't serve you any benefit? And in fact, it's actually harmed you, because at least when you came back from WW2, they promised you that you would have a pension, that you would have housing, and you'd have healthcare.
Yes,
They're stripping that away from you now. You know, it's like, what can't you see? And a lot of these YT people who are affluent and rich in the elite, they're getting passports to our countries because they know they've not paid the maintenance for this country. The place is falling apart. The Thames water barrier is going to fall at any point. We're going to be flooded. The bridges aren't working because they can't bother to replace them. The whole country's falling apart. But you're so worried about
sewage as
you're
well. How much sewage is in the waters of the UK? All the rivers are filthy and dirty, poisonous waters. Yeah.
You know what time it is when Trump starts talking to you about North Sea oil? The same oil that we've already said that it's not worth us trying to extract as well.
What's that? That looks cool. What is that? What is that? That's cool.
It's a new update where you can gift people songs that play music.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a good distraction for a live, I can't lie.
Yeah, thanks. That's nice. I was like, what is that? Carry on, Mimi.
So you've got all of this stuff going on. You've got food shortages coming on because they've started a WAR off the back of the Americans invading a place that they had no business being. And no one's talking about the fact that you've got this shortage of food. And I don't think people understand that the stores that we had during COVID are gone. They didn't bother to replace them because they didn't want to. So how are you going to feed your friends and family? Tesco's is ripping the country to shreds with its overpricing and stuff as well, to the point where they're not even being sanctioned. They're that powerful. And I just think to myself, like, when you guys are really talking about this country, are you being serious, or is it a case of like collective psychosis?
It is, because I collective psychosis.
When you said they don't even smile, I thought to myself, that is so true, because even with the football, unless they're able to, like, anger's like one of the baseline emotions, isn't it? Unless they can feel angry, they're not happy. And so even when they were doing well, they were upset because it was black footballers that were actually doing well for them. And they still couldn't take happiness and pride in that. They're so miserable.
Yeah. So do you know what was so funny? I was back in the UK. I was at a System of a Down concert. By the way, it was so good. And I didn't even know that Queens of the Stone Age was supported. I was so happy. And the funny thing is, around me, I had people like on their phones who were looking at the England score. Of course, when England went 1-up, they were like, yeah. But then I see them go 1-1, go 2-1. It was so funny. And even Darian, I think his name's Darian, the guitar player, was like, I understand that you guys will be angry now, but don't worry, let's just take the anger and put it into the dance. But honestly, people were not enjoying themselves after because of the score. They could not put themselves in the moment. I was the happiest bitch there, like, honestly. I was like, England lost and I'm watching System of a Down, yeah! I got footage of myself literally filming myself like, It was so funny. Like, they were so miserable.
It upsets them because we were taking pride. I think that this World Cup's been really rubbish. The African Cup of Nations was really, I don't even like football like that, but I was really into it because that was true skill. That was true, passion, people coming in and supporting their teams without it. We don't regard Morocco because that was a bit of a blip, but anyway. But I just need them to understand that, when Fox is doing these kind of lives, it's for you to reflect and take stock of what is being said. Because the irony is, no one's wishing death upon you because you're doing it on yourself.
You're doing it yourself.
You're speeding it along yourselves as well. You're meant to be the first world country. You can't afford your kids. You can't house your people. We've got people coming back from Spain after being kicked out that can't be housed. And you've got people, they're telling you that they can't give you a pension and they're increasing the age. You man should have been outright in this weekend about this pension situation. You were so easily distracted by a ball being kicked around on the field. You're killing you're unaliving yourselves. It will not be us, I'm telling you. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there because I just was like, are you serious? And I know, like, no matter how much you try to tell them, until it starts to happen and them, it is happening now. But until it's on their doorstep, by then it'll be too late for them. Mm-hmm. And I feel for us as well, like, it's no longer for us to try and educate them now. It is above us now, because they're so committed. They're so committed to being miserable. They're so committed to being on this. At the end of the day, I would be turning around to my politicians now and say, listen, this is the type of lifestyle I want to live. Make it happen. Instead,
that's what they should, because they have the power. Yeah, but they don't. That's the thing. They have the power. They don't understand that they have the power, and now they just become too weak. They're just so weak. Like, honestly, the amount of times I'm on this app now, and the more reading and the research that I do, English people are the weakest people on this planet. Like, I'm serious when I say this. They are the weakest people. Conversation upsets them. Joy upsets them. Progress upsets them. Like, literally everything disturbs them and makes them so miserable and so angry. Like, it's honestly ridiculous. And like we've said many times, I'm not sure if you
caught it, they were moaning about the police having to go on the EDI training and having to write 500 words about the training. And then people were like, oh, it's a waste of time and stuff. And there was a woman who came on LBC yesterday who was actually legend. She was a lecturer. She goes, 500 words is not even probably like more than a paragraph and a bit. Yeah. So if our police can't even write that, what does it say about the state of our education system? And I sat there and I thought, you know what? Someone has to report sometimes from the police. Their language is the grammar and language sometimes is absolutely shocking. You can tell that they didn't do well at school. They were bullied, and that's why they've gone into the profession.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, like, can you imagine that even your media, like LBC, were like, oh, they shouldn't have to write this stuff. They know that you're failing. They know that these poor white boys that have to go into the police force and all the rest of it can't do their jobs properly. And a little bit of training that would help benefit them and the rest of the country. Because if you think about it, really, DEI is also about teaching them to stop beating up their wives and girlfriends. Right. But even that, they were resenting it. And I just thought, you guys are miserable. You're miserable.
They don't want to change. They don't want to change. They don't want to evolve. They don't want to grow. They also don't want to see that these things that they do, like they are problematic as well. They just want to stay as they are, and then now they're acting like toddlers, throwing their dummies out of the toys out of the pram. You know, they're like, I'm a white man. Oh my God, please tell me I need to stick. Oh my God, have you seen? I don't know what his name is. I have done a video of him once before, but he's been on GB News. He talks so slow. He wears glasses. I don't know what his name is. He's like this. I'm a white man, and so I'm the most oppressed person in the world. Have you seen? Please. Oh my God, oh my God, I don't know what his name is, but he talks so slow. He's on TikTok. He does loads of stuff, but he literally went on TV and said that. How embarrassing. No, it's not Jacob Rees-Mogg. It's just some average English white man. And he says that, and he went on TV to say that shit. So that's embarrassing. I would never go on TV and say that I'm oppressed. He went on national TV to say that. It's like, I'm a white man. And the world is that's cringe, man. That's so cringe. He's just so slow. I need to stitch it so that you'll see it. But
again, it just shows they're not serious, because again, you know, they talk about EDI, we don't need it and the rest of it. But I think to myself, you don't even understand that it benefits you as well. But you know what? That's not for me to explain to them. They'll find it the hard way. Anyway, as always, you look like you're glowing. Thank you for the live. Good to see you. See you later.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Right, Africa, we're here to you now. Africa, my dear.
Hey, Fox. Hey.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, man. Oh my gosh, this discussion. I always lose brain cells, man. You know what?
It took ages to stumble out them solos. Oh, wait. Let me check my notes. Like, what the fuck?
Honestly, it's like when all of a sudden when you talk about indigeneity, people like English people forget the idea of like admixture. Just so that because you have 20% Celtic admixture, you think that makes you indigenous when the majority of you is Anglo-Saxon? It's like, okay, then like if admixture makes you that means you're English then. Because I'm sure you have some English admixture up in
Yeah,
there.
I've got some. I've got 5% Northern European ancestry from the rape. Thanks so much, Anglo-Saxons. So that means, I'm also indigenous now.
Yeah. If everybody who has some kind of Celtic admixture is indigenous, that's a whole bunch of Black Caribbean people that you've just said are indigenous to the UK. It's just like people act like they don't understand what admixture is, like as if that makes you the same as like the same as another group. It doesn't. It just means you have mixed heritage.
I would like to hope and think that when I was 18, there's like 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. I would like to hope that, at least me anyway, in a personal opinion, that I was not this stupid when I was younger, and that I was not this bold with things and thinking I knew everything. I don't think I did. I think I knew stuff, like the things that I knew, I absolutely know. But I was also humble enough to be like, I can be corrected, or I can learn some new things. I feel 18-year-old white boys who are like, the first thing he said again was, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to correct you. Okay, go on then.
You know what? I feel like there's the racism of low expectation. The racism of, you think when you're speaking to Black people that we're not familiar with like basic like mainstream history. So you feel that you can play in my face and tell me that because a Serbian prince was unalived, that's why World War I happened. As if you think I'm stupid. So you think everyone's stupid? You feel like Germany didn't know that Serbia was allied with Russia? You think Germany didn't know that Russia was allied with France and Britain? You think they did? You think the idea of a domino effect was alien to them? Of course they knew what they were getting themselves into. That World War I, like, for those that don't know, World War I was a scramble because the Germans and the Italians were pissed off because they were swindled at the Berlin Conference. That's why. That's why. It's because Germany was pissed off. It's because they were thrilled because Belgium had gotten the Congo. England and France had divvied up the lucrative West African colonies, and what happened is they'd been shivved off with God, like, with all due respect, Namibia. Namibia's mostly desert, and they were pissed off, and they won, and Italy was pissed off because Italy thought they were going to get Tunisia, but then England went around and backed France taking Tunisia. These people, the Germans were pissed off because they had been swindled at the Berlin Conference. People like who play in your face and tell you that like it's because some Serbian was pissed off. Why do you think Germany would elicit a European-wide war because they wanted to fundamentally change the status quo? They didn't care about no Serbian prince.
There isn't only one reason why World War I started. You know that.
And also, I think the last point I wanted to make is that I feel like in regards to the universe killing white people, I feel like there's almost, I'm not religious, but it feels like there's something cosmic at play. Because if you look at European history, like, once again, Europeans adopting a poisonous ideology, which is religious imperialism and expansionism, and doing what they did during the Crusades. And the universe reacts and unleashes the Black Plague. And what is the solution to the Black Plague? Black and brown people. Because Black and brown Moors came and taught European cleansing practices that helped end the spread of the Black Plague. Now, likewise, the same parallel. Europeans have adopted a poisonous ideology, crony capitalism. And crony capitalism means that you can't afford families. Crony capitalism means that there's plastic in your water, there's plastic in your foods. Crony capitalism means that, like, you have nutrition deficits. Crony capitalism means has resulted in low sperm count. Like, and British people, not only biologically are people less fertile, but even with lower fertilities, having families is unaffordable. So Europeans have adopted a poisonous ideology, and really the solution would be Black and brown people. But like, your racism doesn't allow you to see the solution, because the solution is, hey man, we need at least 2 decades to get this right, because it takes 18 years to grow what's it called again? A fully grown English child. The solution to your problem is mass migration. The solution to your problem is taking in black and brown people of working age who you didn't have to pay to educate, but who are above the age of 18 and ready to work. That is the solution to your problem. But racism will not let you see the solution to your problem.
Absolutely
it's cosmic.
true. Because they went around the world and they studied us and they looked at the things that we were doing and they decided, oh, we don't want to do anything like that. We want to make it worse. We want to do things our way and destroy everything and tell people that this is the right way, this is the best way. But it's the worst and it doesn't benefit themselves. It doesn't benefit anybody. So this ego that they have is totally out of control. It's absolute nonsense. And yeah, everyone around them gets to suffer the consequences of that.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I'll say to any English person like listening, like, hey, you just need to stop being emotional about like your racism, like, and like if you want the best for Britain, like you need mass migration. And I'm sorry, and that may mean that Britain is a different color to what you imagined it in your head. But like those days are gone. It's like it's either that or societal collapse. So you got to choose one. If you want a Britain for tomorrow, like you remember you have an aging population. You cannot have a 1-to-1 ratio because like pensions are paid by working people. You cannot have a 1-to-1 ratio. Like you kind of like do you have like how much does it cost for an average in terms of an average pensioner in terms of them from the system? Do you have an extra 20,000, 30,000 pounds for them to tax for you to fund the old people? You need at least you need at least 2 or 3 working age people to be contributing into the pension system.
Yeah, and even when they killed off the lot of old people during COVID, because of course they probably knew then that was going to be a problem, still not enough.
Nope.
And still not enough.
So what is the solution with these young people not being born? Yeah, like people can go rah 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 racism, rah rah rah, I hate the blacks and browns, the Muslims and the immigrants, blah blah blah, my culture, blah blah. That's great, but when we come to the end of you crying, what are you going to do about the children that are not being born? Yeah, when you've had your racist like tirade and you finish kicking and screaming, what are you going to do about those children who have not been born and those children who are not being born? Who's going to have like I see a lot of these racists like with that 18-year-old boy. Hey, you're 18, bro. You're old enough to have an English girlfriend. Where's your English girlfriend? You better be prepping to have these kids. Because I'm not having these kids. I'm not going to be the one having 5-6 kids. It's like no, it's like people aren't serious. Like they want to have emotional conversations, but like when you finish being emotional, the reason why you have Labour, Lib Dem, and Conservative governments, all of them open the doors for immigration because like when you finish kicking and screaming, they have to look at the numbers. They have to look at the numbers of children not being born. So what are you going to do about it? So like you can kick and scream, but like hey, it sounds like a good solution that hey, we get some of these people call them military age men. I call them working age adults that we didn't have to educate.
This military age men term is so stupid to me.
Hey man, you see someone who's military age. I see someone who's old enough to put in a factory. I see someone who's old enough to be on a building site. I see someone who's old enough to contribute taxes. Like I think your racism is a blinder on people's eyes. That means that like not only have they got a problem, an existential problem, they are fighting against the only viable solution there is.
Exactly. I feel like they must have some kind of like allergies in their DNA. It must be like an allergic reaction that they're just
I think there's something divine in that, man. Like I'm not even religious, but there's something divine in that. Like almost like the creator is telling you, man, like your racism is abhorrent, and he's put you in a situation where the only way you can that Europe can survive and Europe can stop itself is by accepting black and brown people, and that's poetic, man.
It's true. It's true. It's literally the only thing, like you say, it's literally the only thing that can save them. But they keep choosing wrong, and they've had many tests on this front, and the universe has had enough now. It's like, that's it now. You've had your chance. You've had 400 years. You keep fucking up. You keep choosing wrong. We're done with this experiment now. So we have to do this. We have to say goodbye now to the whites. See you later, guys. You're finished now. No more. So yeah, this is it. And I will say these things again for those of you who didn't hear the statistics. The June heat wave, 1 week in June, has killed 20,000 people in Europe. 20,000 for 1 week in June. The death toll is going to be higher than that. In between the 22nd and 28th of June, it's been estimated that actually between 17,000 and 25,000 Europeans have been killed by the hot weather, whether they're jumping in the lakes or they're getting heat stroke and dying in the houses. The universe has said, no more, guys, no more, no more. And it's honestly over the colonizers' countries. We're very aware that Western Europe is heating up the fastest, and we know that the colonizers are being affected the most by this. So there's no escape for this, guys. There's no escape. You've had your chances to repent. English people, we see you guys on the apps all of the time, staying ignorant, staying uneducated, staying racist. The universe is giving you many chances. And those of you who want to wake up and actually see the truth and actually educate yourselves, you'll be fine. But too many of you don't want to because you don't have the intellectual capacity to be able to do so. So that's it. Right, Africa, have you got any last... Yeah, pigs and blanket sham. That was so funny. Someone else who was here earlier, I don't know if you were here, Africa, there was a guy who came up and he was saying about all the processed foods that were killing the white people, including pigs in blankets. And it was so funny how he said it. It's like, you're pig in blanket? And it just reminded me at Christmas time when they're eating all their shit food. Was it you, Tuna? I think it was you that said it, right? It was so funny. And now that's what I think about, because I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm not religious anyway. And I've been celebrating Kwanzaa for quite some time. So now I'm going to be thinking of white people at Christmas with their celebrations tins, their pigs in blankets, closer to the grave. That's what I'm going to be thinking about now. Oh no, it's terrible. But Africa, have you got some last points before I move to M?
Yeah, I literally, the last point I was going to, I'll be quick, is because I wanted to debunk the point he made about Zimbabwe, is that Zimbabwe is systemic racism against white people. Absolute foolishness. No, like if somebody came into your house, stole your house and moved their tenants in, and then you got your house back, those tenants can't stay. Those tenants can't stay in your rooms. That doesn't make sense. Like it's obvious. Like when obviously if violent colonialists come into a country and take all the land. And when you get independence, the descendants of the colonialists can't keep the land. That means you haven't got your freedom. Of course, you have to take the land back. Duh. That's not anti-white. That's not anti-white. That's just common sense. It's like,
exactly. Yeah, it's just common sense.
Yeah, you being independent.
And he made it about colour. He chose to make it in the colour because of his own internalised racism, which we know lives within the white Western European. If you saw that as a racial issue rather than a moral issue, rather than something that actually makes sense, then that is his problem, and generally a lot of the problem with the white Western European when they want to see colour in situations where it actually doesn't apply.
Yeah, it's very interesting that people call like his example of like anti-white racism is justice. A clear example of justice.
Yeah, well, you know, his moral compass was messed up anyway, saying that World War I was justified, that millions of people had to die because one did. Like, it's silly.
Yeah, people that fell asleep in history class always have this most to say, man.
It's true. Thank you so much, brother. It's always a joy to speak to you and always a joy to hear your voice. I'll see you next time, Africa. Bye. Right, M. We've got M now. M, how are you today?
Hello from the member of the dying race.
Oh, oh, sorry about that.
It doesn't matter. I'm not Western European, so basically we will die a bit later. You know.
Okay, you've got time.
Everything goes in the sequence, for fuck's sake. Nah, you know what? I joined this just because of the First World War. I find this quite interesting. The 18-year-old guy, he was way too young and he had tabs open, you know, reading and thinking.
Yeah.
But he knows something. The Africa is okay, but he's just focused on one thing, and that's the colonial redistribution of the power, you know, after the Berlin Congress. But the World War I wasn't. I was born in that part of the world where the shit started, you know. So it's kind
Which part? Where are you from?
I'm from Balkans. That's the southern part of the Europe.
Which bit of Balkans? Which bit?
The Croatia. So it's border.
Croatia? I love Croatia. It's one of my top favorite countries.
You've been there?
I love Croatia. Many times, many times. I spent a month traveling around the Balkans in 2016. And I was in Croatia, Montenegro, Macedonia, which I did not like. Macedonia is no.
Do not go.
It's very sad there.
Yeah,
Bulgaria and Slovenia. Yeah, really, I love it. And Croatia, I've been back several times by myself, like many times to that part of the world. I find the people very welcoming, very kind, and the men, you guys are crazy over there. You guys are crazy.
It's just because of the waters that are running, when you drink that water.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It goes to
something in the water. Yes, I've also been to Bosnia as well. I went to Herzegovina. I went to
Herzegovina.
Montenegro is stunning. Montenegro is like one of the beautiful. It's like almost. I've been to Hawaii as well. I'd say Montenegro gives me Hawaii vibes as well. The water is so blue. The clouds are quite low as well in Montenegro. It's very much like a fantasy land. But Croatia I find very beautiful. So I went to Split, Dubrovnik, Plitvice, the
lakes,
waterfall place. Gorgeous. And then I went to Hvar, like the little islands around as well. And
so
I think I've been there 3 times.
To all the posh places.
Yeah, if you say so. Okay.
Yeah, I know so. You know what? Croatia is a beautiful country. The only problem is it's filled with Croatians. If any other nation would live there, it would be a beautiful, beautiful place to live. But
don't in Croatia though. From when I would go there, they would always say they love Margaret Thatcher. They say that.
Yeah, you know why? It's because previously Croatia was part of Yugoslavia, and Yugoslavia started the non-aligned movement in the world. If you know what I'm talking about, you had East and West bloc, and then you had non-alignment, meaning Croatia, Yugoslavia, India, African countries, and so on. So we were dealing business while other people were dealing with shit and Cold War stuff. And that's the reason why we are connected to Margaret Thatcher, because of the economical trade between the Croatia and UK. It's all about money this time, not politics. We were socialists and communists, so it doesn't work with Margaret Thatcher, and you know what I'm talking about. Listen, in respect to the First World War, it's quite simple. It was a historical moment, as they say in history books, when all of the situations came to one point, and that boiling point was the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand. You get my point. That was just an excellent, with a good excuse, you can fart in church. That was
Exactly. It's the excuse. So it wasn't like he did say it was a powder keg, and yes, we agree, but it was still a family feud. And that's the thing, when families are already fighting, or anybody's already fighting, it can just take one thing that will send it over the top. And 53 million people had to die. Like, it's ridiculous. It's not justified.
That war needed to happen because history is a fucked up thing. History is like the immune system. It cleans itself continuously. So basically, that was if the First World War hadn't happened, then we would have the colonialism and the empires and shit for quite some decades, before they started.
Yeah, it's actually true.
Because after the First World War, you were left with only one empire, and that's the British Empire. The German fell, the Russian apparently fell because of the revolution, and Austro-Hungarian also went to shit. Turkey, Ottoman. So those were the last imperial bullshit. And then after that, everything went in the other direction.
But this and this is the whole thing, and this is why it meant to come to an end, because of the karma that happened actually from World War I and II, the amount of mass unalivement. The fact that we call it a world war, it wasn't a world war. It was just white people fighting each other. It was white on white crime. Yeah, it was white on white crime. So, and then making the excuses of Japanese, like I said earlier, like Indian people were in it, Africa. No, we weren't. This was not our fight at all. And then when you do such, and these cause the biggest deaths in death toll that humanity had ever seen in a man-made way. This was not natural deaths from the land. This was man-made death. So this has to be corrected. This has to be made to be understood. And like, this is the thing, the universe gives us all tests, and it always gives us lessons, and we're supposed to be learning. Every day in life is supposed to be a lesson to learn and to grow. and to move and to change and to evolve.
If you have enough intelligence to adopt that, you know, if you have enough intelligence to understand what's happening. You know.
Yeah, and that's the difference between those that do have the intelligence and those who don't. And we're very much seeing how much the gap has actually been growing in the last few years. Like, honestly, we lose brain cells here by talking, like, truthfully and talking with intelligence. And the amount of stupidity that lives within certain groups of people, you're just like, what the fuck? Like, this is, it's crazy to me.
You know what the problem is? Africa, I think his name was Africa. You know what I thought? The guy that yeah, the one that talked before me. Yeah. He said a good thing at one point in time. It's not, you know why the West is being, I'm not perceiving, Slavic people are different. We are still primitive, you know, tribal kind of, you know, tra-la-la-la. But the Western people is quite simple. First of all, they are born with a silver spoon in their hand. Because from the day one, you do not have to think about actual employment, you know, bringing something to the table, investing in yourself, tra-la-la. You know, if you fucking fail in your life, I live in UK for 7 years now. And this is my last year here. Fuck it. Anyways, what I want to say is...
Are you going back to Croatia?
Nah, I'm going back to my wife in the other part of the world.
Can I ask where she's at?
That wouldn't be appropriate for this channel.
Okay, sorry. Continue,
you get my point.
Continue. But good for you for getting out of the UK. Well done.
She's from Kenya. You know, that's the problem.
Lovely.
You need to meet her, then after that you can say, is it lovely or not?
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
No, don't say that. You married her for a reason. I'm sure it's lovely. I know all relationships have their ups and downs, but there's a reason why you want to go back to her.
Now listen, look at a beautiful relationship. That's beside the point. Croatians are different. What I wanted to say is it's quite simple, you know. People in West are born with that golden spoon, and when they don't do things correctly in life, they know that they're going to have the universal credit, they're going to have the housing, they're going to have this, that. You get my point. They don't have to fucking struggle to earn everything. They have the fail-safe plan.
Yes.
So to say. Sorry for
and this is why I always separate Western Europe from Eastern Europe, because these white people don't have the ability to separate, because I'm always talking about white Western Europeans. Like, the Eastern history is so different. Like, you guys kept your shit to yourselves. Like, you kept it where you were.
We were continuously dealing with ourselves internally, meaning fighting in between, and then fighting against fucking Germans and Austrians because they always wanted.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't know. Someone's got a violation. I don't know why. Oh, it didn't say who and for where, but it's just disappeared. And obviously you didn't say anything bad, so maybe that was a mistake or something. But that's it.
Am I speaking shit here? Am I taking too much
you're
time
okay.
for somebody else?
No, you're okay. You're okay. But I will move to the next person.
Yes.
But thank you so much. Please send my love to Croatia, because I miss that country. Okay. Like, I do. I love it. And
we'll be there for quite some time, so do visit us again.
I will at some point. All right. Thank you, Em. Thank you for the chat. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Right, we've got Klopp next, please. Klopp, how are you? Klopp?
Hiya.
Hello. Hi there. Are you well?
Yeah, not too bad today. I'm quite Scottish. I deliberately had myself sterilised quite young, not to have children, so my white line dies with me. I'm really interested in archaeological genetics.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, right, all the people in the world are descended from a black mother in Africa.
That's right, Eve Jean. We got the Eve Jean.
Mitochondrial Eve. Yeah, she was a black woman in Africa, and we all of us in the world are descended from a black woman. Mm-hmm. The only reason that our skin changed was because we needed to be lighter coloured for the absorption of vitamin D. Right? It's nothing to do with...
We adapted to our climate through migration. Yes.
Have you heard of Cheddar Man? Cheddar Man.
Of course. Yes.
Cheddar Man was black with blue eyes. And he is...
Do you know how many times white people, especially the Anglo-Saxons, are saying the Cheddar Man is debunked? Like, by who? It's not been debunked by anybody except for somebody you read on Facebook. Like, it's not debunked at all. The Cheddar Man is literally there. We're very aware he was a dark-skinned to black man. We're very aware that the ancient Britons were dark-skinned to black. We're very aware that they built Stonehenge. Even GB News reported that it was dark-skinned to black. You know, we're very aware of these things. But this is the problem with these white Western Europeans. They are so, like I keep saying, they're stuck in their program. They don't want to understand history. They don't want to accept where they came from. They don't want to see that they actually are so different. So even though the fact that you've said that, yes, we all came from African gene, white people are a genetic mutation. White people have only existed for 8,000 years old. They're only 8,000 years old. Like people like myself, we go back 300,000 years ago. White people are 8,000 years old. So, you know, I always say that they were literally just made of like a spin-off something. You know, things happen, mutations happen, crap happens, shit happens. And the white Western European happened out of that. But something was interesting the other day for those of you guys who were here. There was a black gentleman. His name was Des Velquito. And he was trying to say that black people are now responsible, or he felt actually personally responsible for the fact that white Western Europeans became so destructive. Like he felt personally responsible. And I'm like, no, because self-autonomy is a thing, right? Like I'm not responsible for you, Klopp, just like you wouldn't be responsible for MAGA News and not. We're all responsible for ourselves. So yeah, if you guys were here, and so it was honestly bizarre hearing him say this. I'd never heard anyone say this before. He was like, well, surely there must be a reason, because he was trying to say that we're God's children. He didn't say that in a way, but I know that's what he was getting at. It's like as black people being God's children or the chosen ones, why would we then bring these other people to our planet? Why would we do that? And I was like, that's ridiculous. That's literally ridiculous to make that
it's climate, that's all. It's climate, that's all that changes.
Yeah.
The thing is that race is a socio-political concept. It's got fuck all to do with genetics. Because we all came from mitochondrial Eve, you know, everybody's genetics go back to that. And the only thing that we can say is that we are different shades. We are different shades. We are different shades of black. I have a black ancestor, right? And I come from black.
Well, every white person has 0.1% African DNA. Like if you did your DNA test, you would find that I've got white friends that got like 0.1% Nigerian, because you guys came from us, and it's not the other way around, unless it was by actual purposeful mixing, or like mine is through rape. Because that's what happened. I've got 5% Northern European DNA because my mother was from Grenada, and that's how they ended up in the Caribbean. It's through that way. But but the thing is, though, even though we have this common ancestor, even like we still kind of don't. Like honestly, we still kind of don't, because the evolution has gone so far away, and because the white mindset, the white Western European mindset, is so different. It's like, yes, you can say you came from Africa, but you're not really from there, because you don't have the African mindset. You don't have the ideology of what humanity is. Like really and truly, you have to be really real about this. Like I said, like the way that the white Eastern European has literally killed everything on this planet: animals, children, other human beings, plants, stolen, right, done everything to this planet which Africans were not doing. We were not doing it. We could have done all these things, and we didn't do these things. So that's why you have to focus on the fact that you are more of a mutation, rather than saying, oh, we're all from Africa, because you just don't have African mindset and a way to live. Yeah.
There is a genetic reason for that.
Yeah.
5,000 years ago, right, and that's when all this biblical shit started. 5,000 years ago, there's something called the Y chromosome bottleneck, right? And there is
Is your microphone? You're a bit muffled, by the way, Klopp. Have you got a phone cover on, or is your hand over the microphone? Because you are a bit muffled.
Sorry, I'm on the wrong device. I got that this one doesn't work. Is that any better?
It's a little bit clearer.
Okay, I bought
Oh, I think she's going to sort her phone out, just because I know it's a bit muffled in what we're hearing. So I'll just wait a little bit for her to come back. Instead, actually, do you know what? Let me go to Maga News in the meantime, and hopefully Klopp will come back and say some things. Maga News, how are you, my dear?
I'm very well, thank you. I always love your prompts.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I know you're gonna bring us the heat as well, as you always do. Yes. You always have lovely things to say. So this is it. Is this karma? Is it deserved? The universe is killing the whites. What do you have to say, Maga News today?
Karma is a bitch. Karma is a bitch. And it is well-deserved karma. And you know, I always hear YT people always say things like, well, it's not all of us, it's not me that did all those evil things to Africans, right? But the thing is, even though it's not you that did it, it is your great grandparents, and you are benefiting from the riches that they stole from Africa. And because of that, you deserve whatever karma that will come in their way. Because karma doesn't work in a way that, you know, it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
You see,
it comes in unexpected ways.
Right.
Yeah.
You might not receive the karma, but your grandchildren will.
Yes.
You see,
I think this is where the problem lies, isn't it? Is because people, like, we're definitely seeing it. I know you and I definitely see this, Maga, and I'm sure other people see this as well. The ones who are fighting the most and fighting the hardest against this are clearly direct descendants of those who have actually done terrible things during the British Empire. It's clear. It is very clear. Those people who say, well, I was in the factory and then you shouldn't be suffering unless there was something that your ancestor did along the way where they sold themselves out or something like that, because you're definitely seeing the split between those who can accept the karma of the British Empire and those who cannot, and those who are holding on to this racism. You know, Tontic, karma's coming for you. Well done. And again, like every time they show themselves, you are literally holding a red flag up to the universe, Tontic, to say, hey, you know what, it's me, Tontic. You're literally putting it out to the universe that the universe is going to come directly to you and serve karma to you, and we're all going to be watching and laughing.
Imagine someone that lived in a cave that is telling an African that they civilized an African. Yeah. When Africa, when mathematics, the first writing came from Africa. How is it that you living in a cave didn't know how to even wipe your ass were the ones that civilized Africa? You see, the low IQ of some of these people is amazing to me. But
sorry to interrupt, just real quick, because we've all just come on to the same person, Gracie, who just said, please don't say everyone is racist. I always said the same thing, like, who said that? Carol Ann just said no one said that. Paulie said no one said that. Like, just don't start. So Gracie, I don't know if you're still here or you disappeared, but you, again, with your own things in your mind, get defensive over things that haven't even been said. You're saying it's deserved, I don't understand. Like, we're basically explaining, we've explained it. Let's explain into these white people real slowly, because sometimes we have to get closer to the microphone and we have to slow things down for these people. If your family line or your family tree has done terrible things to other human beings in the world, that karma is passed down as a debt to yourself. So you must look at your family history and you must think, hey, maybe all this bad stuff that's happening to me, I need to be better because I don't want to be like my ancestors. But instead, too many of you white people are like, everyone's racist towards us. Everybody hates us. Everyone thinks we're racist. That's what you've just done, Gracie. Look in your family tree and understand. That is exactly what karma means, 61016. Whatever's happened beforehand comes down as generational karma. We have generational trauma as black and brown people, and white people have generational guilt. This is why a lot of you start crashing out, because you don't know why you feel like this way, but it's literally imprinted in your DNA. Gracie, you could be just a bit more respectful. I completely understand the history and I am respectful of. No, Gracie, you're not entitled to anything from black and brown people, let alone me. You're entitled to nothing. You've earned nothing. You receive nothing. I gave you an explanation and you want me to mollycoddle your feelings? No, girl. No. Get with the program. It's 2026. Me and my people have gone through absolutely horrendous things and you want me to talk to you like a baby? Is that what you want? I don't understand this hate when I'm asking for an understanding, I'm sure you mean. There's no hate. It's within you. This is your family line. Check it. Maganese.
Can I just say one thing, host? You see, when white people feel like every black person hates them, okay, let me be very open. Listen, let me be very frank about this. Yes, that is true. You are hated. But it's not just black people that hate you, right?
I will speak for I'm just going to interrupt you. You can carry on because I don't hate anybody. I don't hate people, honestly. And I actually don't think that black people hate white people either. I think we're accepted. I think we're accepted. We accept the karma that's actually going to be just because if we did hate, we would be like them. We would start unaliving them, which we're not doing.
Hate is an energy, host, right? And it's a different levels to hate. You see,
look, people in the comment section, no, MAGA, like people in the comment section also saying that. It's not hate, it's not that.
Right, let me correct that.
Yeah.
Hate for them is going around and destroying other people.
Yes.
Hate, you see, I can hate your actions. Right? Like, for example, my son.
Ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga ooga booga, ooga booga.
Just drop this animal.
Ooga booga, ooga ooga
You
ooga.
see, Neanderthals have got nothing left but making noises.
Right, you see, that is a prime example. You see that?
Yeah.
That is a prime example of why you feel like the world hates you, right? It's because you don't know how to behave and conduct yourself as a human being, right? I hate your behavior. I hate the way you think. I hate the way you process information. I hate the fact that you feel that you are better than me because of your skin complexion. You see? So when you feel like the world hates you, they hate your attitude. They hate your mentality. You even created a system called racism in order to put yourself at the top and put darker skinned people at the bottom. That is what I'm talking about. So the hate I'm talking about is the hate of your attitude and the things that you do.
Their hatred is mainly towards themselves.
Right? You see, you hate me for being dark skinned, right? I don't hate you for being light.
They don't hate us either. They don't hate
They hate
us
themselves.
Either. Honestly, exactly. They hate themselves. They hate themselves. They don't hate us. We don't hate them. They use the word hate because it's all internalized and they project onto us because we love ourselves and we've had more self-esteem and higher self-confidence. And this is what narcissists do. And I talk a lot about narcissism, is that they then try to make everybody else the bad guy because first of all, we see them for who they are. We see them truthfully. And again, they have this comparison thing where they realize that they're not good.
Is it inferiority complex?
Yeah, that too.
Okay, so it's inferiority complex. All right. Okay, yes. I can understand that. I can understand that because to dislike someone or to look at someone as beneath you because of their skin complexion to me is the most wildest shit I've come across. All right. Now, me as an African, I'm proud African. I'm proud. In fact, being black, I always say being a dark skinned human being, it's a privilege, you know. And last time I spoke to you, host, I said to you how much of a privilege it is to walk outside right now in this heat and not having to put the sun cream on. You see, it's a privilege that I've never experienced sunburn. It is a privilege that I will most likely not get skin cancer because of the sun waves. That is what you call a privilege, not this made up privilege that you have created, right? That makes you think that you are better than because of your light skin tone. Okay, so they want to lie to themselves, but we actually are the ones who are privileged. And as I don't go around trying to exalt my privilege, my privileges, and look down on them. You know, I just live my life as normal. You know, as a normal black person, I walk around knowing that the universe loves me. You know, and if I come in contact with a white person who, for whatever reason, thinks that they're better than me, right? I don't need to explain myself to that person. You see, and like on my lives, I'll be honest with you. I do lives as well. On my lives, I don't even entertain these people. So you got a lot of patience than I do. Host. I'll be honest with you. Like as soon as
The
they
block
open their
is
mouth,
well, you know, the block is still very, the mute is very. It depends on my mood, and you know, a lot of the time when I do that is because we have to remind ourselves who we walk amongst. Because if we are just ignoring them or just not showing them for who they are, then we forget where we are. Right, so that's why I do it, because it
yeah,
would be
yeah.
very easy for me to just be like, no.
You're
Right,
using
thank
it
you
as a
so
way
much,
to,
Bagger.
yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you
Bagger. I'm
very
going to go
much.
back.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank you, brother. Thank you. But I'm going to go back to Kate Klopp. Also, I do see that there's another 3 people who do want to come up onto the panel. I am going to end it soon, by the way, because I've been on this for quite some hours. So thank you so much, everybody so far who has been part of the conversation. Thank you to all the wonderful opinions. Thank you to everybody on the panel. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to the mods as well. So we're just going to have the last 3 guests on here, and then we're going to finish for today. So Klopp, are you back now? Is your microphone better? Klopp, are you there? Oh, so yes. Hello.
No, can you hear me?
It's okay. It's still a bit muffly, but go on. Yeah.
I'm just trying to get you. I've also got another I've got another one that's KLPH. It's on my other phone and it's got better reception. But I was trying to get onto your live on Dart, but I couldn't. I typed in your box XZ and it said there was no.
Yeah, we are struggling to hear you a bit though, Klopp. So maybe you can come back another day and join the conversation. Yeah, come back another day. Okay, try on your other phone, and I might be back on tomorrow. So maybe you want to join the conversation tomorrow. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Klopp. Thank you. Thank you. Right, okay, we've got now Lawrence Sam, please. Lawrence, how are you? You've been really patient, Lawrence. Have you been here since like almost the beginning?
I've been here from time, man.
Yeah, you have.
You know,
thank you for sticking
just like
around.
our people, we've been here from time, so we have to be patient, right? We have to be patient to allow these people to have their time and let their time done, and then it's our time, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, brother.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I've been on this planet for 61 years, right? So I've been watching their demise. Do you know what I mean?
You're 61. You don't sound 61, and I bet you don't look 61 either, because that's the melanin, brother. You're actually not brother. You're like my uncle. Let me say uncle.
Well, I don't eat like most people eat. You see, I'm pretty much like a fruitarian, raw foodist, right? So I'm about the preservation because I want to see the climax of all of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to see in a healthy state. right?
Yes.
And I live out in
That's
the
what
sunshine as well,
is,
so I'm
yeah,
blessed.
the universe is actually asking us to do that. That's why it's sending a lot of black people back to the motherland or to other places,
Right.
back to the sun, so we can recharge, so we can actually get back, like we were talking about earlier, no more processed foods, because the universe wants us to see the demise of white people. That's
Yeah, of
actually
course.
what's to happen.
You know, I mean,
So,
a lot of my brethren, sorry to cut, a lot of my brethren have gone and left the planet because, like, I told them already, like, you know, it's cool being a Pan-African and thing, right? But you know what I mean? I started to move away from all of that a little bit and come more into, like, the lifestyle now, you know, about the health. You know what I mean? And so I've changed up my diet, stopped smoking the weed and drinking the white man's liquor, and stopped dealing with his poison. Do you know what I mean?
yes.
And start to just observe things more. But like this discussion is quite deep because like I'm listening to a lot of people talk about a lot of things. I'm like the brother there was talking about the First World War and all these things like this. Like that's just white on white crime. White people have been killing each other for thousands of years because I don't know if you ever heard of the book The White Man Inheritance by Michael Bradley. You heard of Dr. Henry Clark? No? All right, these are Pan-Africanists, hardcore Pan-Africanists.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And like this Canadian white brother, he's a Canadian mixed Native American, and he wrote a book called The Iceman Inheritance. You want to check this book out. This book is deep. So he's telling you that the reason why white people are the way they are because they lived in the ice, right? So when the ice melted, right, and they start to like scatter around the rest of the world, they're seeing us now sitting in paradise. So it's like anger. It's like, what the fuck? We've been living like this for centuries, and these people are living in paradise. So it was like resentment, do you know what I mean? And they wanted something to take from us. So, you know, like getting to them and traveling around the world in their ships and seeing things because they had to get over their old white European tales of the fact that they thought that the earth was flat. And if they went in a ship, they're going to fall off. So they had to steal all these maps. They had to steal all these maps.
They still think that now.
They had to steal all these maps from the Chinese and the shipbuilding before they could actually get brave enough to start traveling, you know? I mean, there's even stories of like the Arabs, when the Arabs would say something like, these Europeans, you know when they're coming because they're going to smell. So the Europeans knew that. So they would go there, get some perfume, dress like them, go amongst them to come back and bring all these silks and all these spices and flash it before the queen. Like, look at how these people are living. And it's like, you know, we need to go and get this shit. This is what started their masquerading around the planet. You know, to steal people's resources, land, and everything that they stole. Because basically, right, they come from a very cold, harsh environment, a hard life.
Yes, they are.
You know?
They are. They are. Yeah, they had to be chameleons in a way, didn't they? They had to. Because I mean, they couldn't adapt in ways we talk about adapting to climate and things like that, but they assumed other people's identities. So even actually you reminded me a few weeks ago I had somebody come here who was Indo-Aryan, and it was obviously they say that Aryans are white people. Like, no, they're actually from the Middle East or like Indian area.
India,
they're the real
northern India.
India. Yes,
Aryan.
Yes, Aryan. Sorry, the Aryan people are not white people; they're Indian people. So I'm like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Indian people in the north of India, they got more in common with Europeans than the Indians in the south. The Indians in the south have got more in common than Ethiopians. If you look at people in the south of India, they look similar to Ethiopians. Even their food is similar. So, you know, the movement of these people, right, like, it's so deep, man. You know what I mean? Like, you got to look at like places
move
like...
and they take over cultures.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, like, you think about
done.
the word itself, Caucasian. I mean, I call them crazy. But like Caucasian, like Caucasus Mountain, what are they doing in the mountains? They're in the ice, you know? So the Iceman inheritance, they basically inherited the earth, right? Or so they think, by emerging from the ice and conquering everything. So they're angry people. But in a way, I kind of like, I feel sorry for their society.
That's weird. I've got like 2 violations though. For the live is restricted, and maybe it was because of the cork thing that you said. Maybe anyway, it doesn't matter.
Cork crazy. That's just a made up word. I just stitched 2 words together. I mean, if that's a violation, I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Carry on.
You know something like you said. I got nothing against these people at all. Do you know what I mean? I just like to observe them, right? Because like
that's what we do. We observe, we document, not document, but I believe that we have been data collecting as Black people. Like they've data collected on us in a way to use and abuse us, right? Because of course they've got the scholars and they've written all their books and everything, but we've naturally created data, collected data because we are the observers of humanity. So we don't need to really read a lot of stuff. We actually have just been able to see a lot of these things and talk about what has happened to us. Like I said, the DNA also has collected things, so we know, but we've never needed to use or any of the information that we have about white people against them, because we're not those people. And that's why I have to make it very clear to Klopp, I think you're still here, that we are not the same people. Like
no, we're definitely not.
Story, we're not the same people. This story like, oh, we're all human. No, we're the humans. White people came from the Neanderthal. It's very different. It's very different. You don't have the same behavior. You don't see the world in the same way. We see the beauty in life. We see the things, and we're trying to get back, like you've just said, back to the plants and back to nature, and to take all of this toxicity that whiteness has brought, which is the processed food, which is the war, which is the famine, man-made problems. Right, like, and I talk a lot about actually even before the 1500s. It's actually just before the 1500s that the world was so much better. You know, like being gay wasn't a crime, or you know, religion was not used as a tool to oppress people. That was like just before the 1500s. But then these Anglo-Saxons, who were so insecure in their being, they were like making everybody who was living as they were living criminals for just being who they were. And thank you as well, Hermit Sapien, women had power, because we know in African culture we had so many female leaders. Queen Nzinga, Nefertiti, Amorenas, you know, men were not insecure. We lived together, we worked together, we grew together. This is what community looked like. But white Western Europeans were all about fighting and division. And now they're saying to us, oh, we need to unite. We're not going to unite with you. No way. You have not shown that you are for unity of the people. You have to try and unite with us by understanding our stories and our history and what the world was like before you Neanderthals.
But you know, see how they've co-opted so many things, like even the way that they live their hippie lifestyle is like, you know, oneness.
It's from
they talk about
India.
oneness.
Thank you. Pakistan,
and Ubuntu.
Pakistan,
That's
India.
That's ours.
That's ours. Ubuntu. They talk about chakras and healing and stuff like that. I'm a spiritual person, so I know this too. And again, it is from Indian culture. Everything came from Sanskrit as well. It is also because they're not spiritual people at all. That's why they needed some kind of man-made religion to keep them on the straight and narrow. And you see how some of them are clutching onto their Bible, because if they let go of that Bible, they start bloody killing people and they start bloody essaying children, and they're still doing it anyway while clutching the book, because they need it. They need this book.
That's another thing that, like, I always check that out, as you say, observers, right? Because, like, you see, they historically write things down. Right, so they look at everybody else. Well, you're not writing things down, so you don't really know anything. But we observe things, so basically, it's oral. Our tradition is oral. So why am I observing, or why are you observing? So we can tell our children, so they can tell their children, because books can get burned. Right? Remember, they burned the libraries in Alexandria, right, of ancient Kemet.
Yes.
Right. So they burned all the knowledge, right, and they've still got some of the knowledge, because you see, the thing about Europeans or white people, whatever you want to call them, is that like the elite Europeans, they know about us. They know our power, right? But the ones underneath them, they subject them, because they subjected them before they met us. But when they met us, they had to divide, right? So they put us against their lower classes, right? So that we're fighting each other, so they can still keep the pie. Yeah. So now they're not going to have their internal wars anymore. They're going to have wars with other people, and they're going to use their lower class white people to fight their war, to tell them others over there, they're the enemy, not us.
Yeah,
you see? So
I've got a video on my page talking about white on white crime, and I traced back their early wars to like 700 BC or something like that is their earliest war, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And of course, the war started to dwindle out after when? 1600, 1700, when they discovered us. Yeah, when they discovered us, they started fighting less, right? So it's
tribal.
their
It's tribal
history is
war.
so diabolical.
This tribal war in 700 AD or something like that. They had like Protestants fighting Christians in France, where in one day,
Levants,
in one day, 30,000 people are all over Paris dead, blood everywhere. So their tribe is tribalism. They've always been tribal like that, and they're always on a Tinder hooks where like you can think at any moment they can just like spark a thing and then they're fighting each other. I mean, you look, Ukraine and Russia, they're fighting each other, right?
Why?
They're picking a fight with Iran. They're just worrisome.
And even the Russia-Ukraine war is so ridiculous. It was literally just as it is from the Ukrainian side, just a ploy to get more money. Because if you've seen this, they build in, what is it, £1 billion or whatever, however millions of pounds ski slope there. I was even telling this story yesterday. My Ukrainian now lady, she's not anymore actually, she's moved, but she was going back and forth from the Ukraine all of the time on a bus. Because they'd stopped some of the transport, but you could still go there. She was still seeing her mum and dad in Kyiv, by the way. There, her brother was fighting, and yes, there was some people weren't alive, but the death toll is so low in Russia and Ukraine war. It is very, very, very low, and all it was supposed to do is to make us not think that Russia that Russia was a problem, because we know that Russia has historically understood black people. They've understood the power of blackness,
of course,
and of course they know the power of BRICS. How strong BRICS is going to be towards the Western European, and we know Western European, of course, is dying out. Africa's trying to kick as many Europeans out as possible, and so they need this propaganda to say that Russia is the enemy by just using taxpayers' money in the UK to say, hey guys, there's a war in Ukraine. Why not have these refugees in your house? We'll pay you £350 a week. Oh, we'll have Zelensky over at our house every other week, taking even more money from the British taxpayer. And everyone's just like, huh? What? Okay, that's cool though, because we're on the right side. Zelensky was what? A magician?
Yeah,
Wasn't
exactly.
He was a magician.
He was a comedian.
Yeah, a comedian. Sorry, he was a comedian. So you're literally giving money to a comedian, and of course he's laughing all the way to the bloody bank with this war going on in Ukraine,
all of them
which
are.
is not even happening. Yeah,
All of them are.
They're
They're all involved in it. Like Britain's funneling taxpayers' money to them. Everybody's funneling money to them. So when you see like these white people you talk about, like they're getting angry about immigrants. Tell your government stop spending your money on wars. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
immigrants.
But that's the thing. They're so weak with this.
They're delusional.
That they don't know how to. Yeah, they don't know how to fight their government.
No, they don't. And they're getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. I mean, like in my days, right? I remember in the 80s, Margaret Thatcher introduced this thing called a poll tax, and in them days, not so many white people, right, got sucked
and
into
they fought. They really fought then, and then I bring that
because they weren't so sucked into the mortgage and the materialism, right? You know, they were still with that union kind of thing, and still with that whole like coming out of that period of, because before the Industrial Revolution, you got to remember, right? They were peasants. They were treated like shit, probably just as bad as we were treated by them, right?
Yes.
So the only reason why
the
only reason why they were allowed out,
they don't understand.
The only reason why they were allowed to go into the factories because they had no one else to do it for them. So they gave these people a privilege, you know, to come and earn some money, right?
Class system. The class system. They needed to have some kind of colour in the class system as well. So, and I always keep reminding white people that we were also working class, but they get upset that immigrants are doing better now. Like, black and brown people are having the money. And they're like, well, you've got privilege. Like, no, we were all working class at one point. But because our energy is not tied to the system, we're able to break free of it and actually get up the ladder and move on. Yeah.
But you see, because working class, right? Before it was just working class and Europeans, right? Then it became working class and others like us, right?
Yes.
So then they just pit the working class against us so that they can remain there at the top. You see? And that's what they're still doing today in British politics. British politics is all about, it's the immigrants' fault. Whenever things are tough, it's the immigrants' fault. Whenever things are booming, everybody's happy, right? When the economy's suffering, it's because of the immigrants. Right? Yep. When the economy's booming, there's not enough white people, so we need to bring others in. But we bring others in, and then there's a little dip in the economy because we're so greedy with our capitalism, right? That everybody's gonna have to suffer, and then we go, oh, the reason why we're suffering is because of them people. Yeah. No, it's also because, like that brother said, they're birth dearth. They're in a birth dearth. You know, their population is in decline.
Thank
you know.
you so much, Lawrence. Sam, I've just
Yeah,
followed you
blessings,
as well
man.
because I
Yeah,
would
lovely.
like to hear you
I'm gonna check in.
speak
I'm gonna check in with you again because I like the vibes here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, please
Yeah.
follow this account, and also I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
my
I'll
main
follow you.
account, which
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
also
And
please do.
and white people, we don't hate you. Just stop hating yourself.
That's it. If they went to therapy, I said this earlier, if they stopped drinking, if they stopped actually being so brainwashed by propaganda and dealt with their issues, the whole world actually would be a much better
Yeah,
place.
I would sit down and
all
drink
it
tea with
is.
them. I mean, I'll sit down and drink tea with them anyway, but I'll be like, you know what I mean? I'd allow them to dip their biscuit in my tea, you know what I mean? Hey, I dip your biscuit, but I can't let them do that because I don't know where they've been. Do you know what I mean? They've been licking up their dogs and all them things, you know what I'm saying? So I can't let them dip their biscuit in my tea. Hey, blessings,
Oh my
man.
God, I remember once when I went into a white person's house, and I saw them with a plate of food that they'd just been eating off of, and when they give it to the dog, the doggy lick off the plate. Ah! You're going to eat off of that plate as well.
That plate
I
is
have
going in the
dogs.
bin. That plate is going in the bin. I don't think no fairy liquid can wash that plate no more. Throw that away.
Exactly. I've had dogs for like 15 years. I love animals. We do not rock like that. I don't know why.
No.
This
Not up in the
beastly
bed and all them
behaviour. Yeah, but mind you, actually, they do bestiality as well. So it makes sense why they like
that's
getting
their
off
thing,
of
innit?
their
Yeah,
dogs and stuff.
Of course.
Yeah,
All that thing
nasty.
there, you know, like
Yes.
another day I'll tell you another story.
Yes. All right, thank you, Lawrence. I have to move to the next person because my battery is really low now, and we're going to get to Caroline, and I'm going to finish up. Thank you, Lawrence.
What part of the world are you at right now? Where are you?
I don't tell anyone, but I left UK and Europe. I'm gone.
All right. I don't tell no one
moved to
either.
a
I've been
Muslim-
away for 16 years.
Good. I moved to a
Yeah.
Muslim country. That makes them even more angry. And
Yeah,
it's
I'm in
not
a place where
UAE or
it's-
Turkey either. It's not UAE
All right,
or
yeah,
Turkey.
I used to live in Turkey a bit as well. Yeah, I've traveled all over. Yeah. Where I am,
Nice.
like it's 32 degrees all year round, and then we have a wet season where it's like the lowest is 21 degrees, so it's clear sunshine.
Same. I'm glad you're living the good stuff. And like you said, we need that vitamin D. It makes us happy, makes us free, makes us more relaxed. Because the energy in Western Europe is dark, man. Need to get rid of that shit.
But when I go
Get
back to
out of
England, I see a lot of black people looking grey.
it. Yeah, it's true. It's actually
Grey.
true.
From not
It's actually
sunshine and then the
true.
poor food. The poor food, you know, like if white people take off their clothes in the sunshine, black people need to do that even more. They need to go and just throw up themselves, roll up their shorts, and lie in that sun. I got a sister who lives in England. When the sun comes out, she goes black. She's like lying in the sun, cooking, popping
That's
up
what we
herself
need
for
to
them
do. The
cold
sun
grey days.
recharges and energizes. There's not a cloud in the sky. I'm going to go in my swimming pool after I finish this live festival. I'm actually going to eat. Then I'm going to jump in my pool and I'm going to float around in that.
All right, I was
beautiful
wondering
water
why
down
you're
there.
doing up so
Thank
this
you,
time
Leos.
of the day.
Oh yeah, different time
Yeah,
zone.
you're not in England now.
All right.
Your skin don't even look like
No.
you're living in England.
No. All right. Thank you, Lawrence. Until
All right,
next
bless.
time. Thank you.
All right, bye. Right.
Right, Caroline, you're going to bring us home now, Caroline. Are you there?
I'm
Yes.
here, yeah. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you wonderfully, Caroline. So, is this the first time you've been on my panel, Caroline?
It is, yeah.
Welcome, because I've seen you, of course, in the comments section. I've seen you make comments on my video. So thank you so much for coming by. Because I say Caroline and Finn, and you're like, it's just Caroline. Like, okay,
It's just Caroline, yeah. Finn's my dog.
Your dog, yeah, you're lovely. Is that a Jack Russell? Jack
It
Russell?
is. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a Chihuahua cross. Jack Russell was my first dog, and I loved him to pieces. I wasn't kissing
Best
him,
dog.
but
No, I don't
but they
kiss my
are-
dog. Ew.
Good. That's it, Caroline. Please don't kiss your dog. Right. Okay.
no,
this is
no.
this is the topic here. Is this karma? Is it deserved? The universe is killing the whites. What do you have to add, please, Caroline?
When you say the universe, I want to say yes, but I also want to say it's their stupidity as well. I'm white, so it's our stupidity. Because we're like sheep. We get told by those at the top that black and brown people are the problem, immigrants are the problem, and it's not. It's them at the top that are the problem. And yeah, Britain colonised everywhere, didn't we? We went, we colonised, we stole, we raped, we pillaged, and we don't give anything back. It just feels like to me. I'm I'm very nervous. I'm not very good at speaking, so I do apologise.
That's okay.
But
You're
yeah,
doing
and I
great.
just feel like us as white people, as well as like lower class white people, are being colonised by the upper class white people as well, you know? And they're telling us what we should feel. They're telling us that you guys are the problem, and it's classic divide and conquer. The amount of times that I've actually said on posts that I've went into, and I've said it's divide and conquer. It's like, look over there, don't look up here, because if we all looked up there, we would see they are the problem. They want us divided. They give us a boogeyman, so we won't actually see that they're the boogeyman. Does that make sense?
Yes, most definitely. This is how the 1% have always worked, though. Like we've mentioned about the class system earlier, is like make the poorest white person feel like they're much better than black and brown person, and then therefore they can try and lord that over them and try and say, well, we did this and we did that, and like, but this is what I always do, as you know. I say, well, what did you do personally? And then they're like, and they get upset at me, as you see, because I'm not the black and brown person that propaganda has told them to be. And other people have also said that today on this particular live. It's like they expect black and brown people to be uneducated and to be poor and all this, but we're not those things. And we're not. And like they talk about Africa, and they've never even been there before. It's a continent of 54 countries, and I have a video coming soon showing that Africa is first world and the UK is third world. Like they just don't even know. Like we have so many beautiful buildings and infrastructure and education, like everywhere. Right? Because there are some people who still live off the land, or they'll just say as well, it's mud huts, and it's like, okay, cool, yeah, they're adapted to climate. Nobody wants to live in a brick house, because guess what? In your country, in the UK right now, you would wish you were living in a mud hut, because you're suffering inside your houses. You're burning up inside your houses, and when it gets to the cold, you're too cold inside your house, so you have to put heating up. You have not acclimatized. The UK does not have housing that is actually working for the climate. But guess what? Out here in the rest of the world, we got houses that we ain't suffering. In my country I live in now, like we just said, 32 degrees. Like, and now it's like 35 or something. We get up to 40. I'm never too hot in my house. And in the winter, I'm never too cold. I do have the AC if I want to. I do have heating if I want to. But I can be outside. I sleep outside on my terrace up there most of the year, because it's beautiful out there. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's cicada season now, so they're really loud.
Nice.
Really loud. So I've had to close my window. So like out of June and July, we have the bugs, because again, this is what happens when you live in these different climates and countries. Guess what? You have an ecosystem, and you have lots more animals and insects and bugs and things that actually are adaptive to the climates. You guys have got that nasty black spider, the house spider.
Oh,
you guys have got that nasty spider, and I'm seeing more snakes now in the UK. I don't know if you guys are seeing this on your social media. You've got more snakes in the UK, more snakes.
It's crazy.
So,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've always considered myself a white human being. I'm a human being first. You know, I always try to treat people the way that I would want to be treated. You know, regardless of your skin color. And I don't know if that's wrong or if that's right, but that's just the way that I've always felt. I'm as you can see, I'm Scottish. I will talk to anybody. Sometimes I'll just, like, if I'm in a lift with someone, I'll talk to them, you know, regardless of who they are, because that's just the way I am. I've always been chatty, and I love chatting to people. And I've found so much out from just watching your lives and your posts and everything. It's just, and I found, like, with your comment section as well, people are listening with their eyes instead of listening with their ears.
Yes, and they get triggered so fast. I don't know if you made a
Yeah.
comment on the video I just posted about the England losing. Is it British karma? It's only 4 seconds, okay? Yeah, that bit. So if you guys haven't seen it on my other account, I literally said England lost. And them losing is karma for the British Empire. 4 seconds. The next screen says about, but it's terrible because violence against women and girls goes up by 30%, 38%. They are so triggered. Get out of the country. Oh, you this. You're personal insults towards me. You're in England, because I filmed it on the underground as well. Because of course, as I mentioned, I was like a couple of days. Yeah, because I was visiting. They're like, well, get out the country then. Why do you live in England? Why are you? I'm like, I'm just visiting. I came for a concert. Like they literally crashed out because of the football, not realizing that it's karma and laughing at the team. They're just like, crash out.
Yeah.
Crash out.
I mean, as a Scottish person with the football, I'm always anybody but England.
Yes, I know the history is there.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh well, you're crap anyway. That's what we get, and I'm like, but you don't understand though that we know we're crap. We don't care that we don't win.
Exactly. You have a good
Tartan
time.
Army
You enjoy this. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. When you went to the US, I saw the Scottish football fans being embraced, but when it came to England, they closed the pub. They were like, we don't want the English. Yeah, they said we don't want the English.
And that's that. And I say to them, I'll say, look, no Scotland, no party. The Tartan Army is loved worldwide. Your fans are not. So suck it up.
The Neanderthal. Nobody likes the English fans. They don't want England to win. They don't have support because this is colonization and it's the arrogancy. And as I brought up, there was that one guy who literally said, we colonized Congo once and we'll colonize them twice. And they also said that about Senegal. And this is part of the reason why England will never win the World Cup again. Absolutely shameful and disgusting.
Shameful.
I must end it now because the battery is at 3%.
Yes. Thank you for letting me talk.
Thank you so much. No problem. Thank you so much for coming back. Yes,
I'll always come
again.
back. I will.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Right, thank you so much again, as I mentioned earlier, for everybody who's been on the panel. Thank you for the comment section. Thank you to the mods as well. Really appreciate everybody. I think this has been an absolutely hilarious conversation. And if you do know or don't know, I do upload these lives to my YouTube. Okay, so make sure that you can watch them. You can also listen back on RSS feed, so you can find it on Spotify, you can find them on your Apple Music player as well. So the link I think is on my other account, so please do listen back because they are always a joy. And like I said, on YouTube you can see the comments as well go around again. So thank you so much everybody. Again, it's Monday. I should be back tomorrow for another conversation. Again, apologies for everybody else who tried to come up because I'm at 1% now. Right, see you later everybody.